Happy Tuesday. Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode, to another day, to another stream. I'm Laura. If you're new, hello, welcome. Come on in. Everybody come on in, find yourself a seat, get your tea, get your crochet or your knitting if you're like that person. Welcome, you're still welcome here even if you're a knitter because I envy you. But anyway, bring your crochet. I've got a sleeve I'm working on and so that's what I'm going to be finishing today. I've got a puffy sleeve for an upcoming, hi. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I love you. Okay, so hi. Hey Dawn, good morning, good afternoon, good morning, where shows you how my day's been going. Melanie, good afternoon. Oh, thank goodness. I exhausted all my podcasts and I need sewing background noise. Currently pressing pleats until the cows come home. Are you making a kilt? What has pleats until the cows come home except for kilts? I guess any knife pleated skirt is probably good too. But anyway, that's cool. I'm glad that you've got some background noise. Welcome. Hey there, Bailey. I will join later. That's all right. Well, nice that you stopped by. And also thank you. Thank you for the hair compliment. Good evening, Christine. Nice to see you as well. So I've got my tea. Alex just delivered some orange pico tea with a little bit of cashew milk. Also, I was feeling a little feisty today. Can you tell? Check out this smoky eye. Actually, yes, technically it's a plaid skirt. Hey, plaid skirt, that's a kilt. Totally. That's cool. That'll be fun, except for, ooh, sewing plaid, so it's got to be perfect straight line. I mean, maybe it'll make it easier for you to get your pleats proper because at least there's like some nice lines for you to follow for ironing. Anyway, how's everybody doing today? Hi there, Hamden. Hi, Hamden. Nice to see you. I'm well, thank you. I am just getting work done on this sweater. I finally, I think I'm pretty comfortable with the direction it's going now. Like I wasn't 100% sure what I was doing, but I drew it out and I kind of decided on how I'm going to make the sweater. Oh, thank you. My hair is on day 3. Yesterday and the day before I had it down and now it's at the point where it can't go down anymore until I wash it next. So thank you. Anyway, this is basically what I'm working on. So I'm making 2 hexagons. I've already made one, and then I'm working on one of the sleeves right now. But eventually the idea is that it'll be like, here's the hexagon part. It'll be like, you saw from the picture, but I'm still going to show it like this. It'll be like a wide neck. It's going to be really cute. I like it a lot. It looks super, like a tie-dye shirt. That's how it gives me the vibes it gives me. Brielle, not crocheting now because I have schoolwork. That's all right. I mean, schoolwork's important. But I can't wait to finish so I can work on my jellyfish amigurumi. Oh, that'll be fun. Love listening though. Oh, well, welcome. Glad you're here. Hey, Angela, good afternoon. I'm just still working on my sleeve from yesterday. And I think I'll get it done during this stream. And then from there, I'll just have to film the actual instructions because I'm gonna do 2 of them on the live stream, like 2 pieces, and then the other 2 pieces I'll do like an actual video recording of so that I can have a tutorial for them. And yeah, it looks like I'll be ready to start filming either later today or this evening. Caitlin, I'm crocheting along with you. Awesome. Well, look, good. I'm glad to have a buddy to crochet with. Finishing a sleeve on a sweater I'm making for a friend. Oh, that's nice of you, making a sweater for a friend. That's some serious true love. The only friend I've ever made something for, like a sweater, is my best friend Cassia. Like I've made my sister's stuff, but I've never made a sweater for any person who isn't like direct family except Cassia, because it's a lot of work. Hey there, Lucy. Aw, absolutely love your live. So comforting to crochet with someone else. Good, I'm glad that that's not just my vibe, because that'd be weird if it was only fun for me. I'm glad it's fun for you too. Definitely. I know what you mean though. Like when I'm crocheting, it's nice to just like, I'm gonna be honest, I often put Trisha Paytas on. I don't know if that's something that, if you guys follow the drama of the internet, but I often just put her on when I'm doing something. It's like, I'll do Bernadette Banner, Angela Clayton, Life in Jars, Ants Canada, Trisha Paytas, the H3 podcast. Like they're just for background noise and I like their voices. but if you actually listen to the words they're saying, it makes you like kind of go crazy a little bit, or at least with Trisha Paytas. Caitlin, oh my god, me too. Okay, cool. Then good. Again, glad I'm not the only one. But I like to have something going in the background because it's very quiet. Like if you're crocheting and counting stitches, it can be a lot of just silence staring at your hands. And also when you're crocheting, you can't necessarily be watching, you know what I mean? So I usually go for things that are like just sort of not, I don't even know, like the H3 podcast. I guess it's like a comedy podcast, but it's not a podcast. It's like a YouTube live stream, but they call it the podcast. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't need my attention. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to be looking and I don't need to be paying really close attention. Ants Canada, I do like to be looking, but I also really like his descriptions of stuff, so it's okay. I don't need to be like staring at the screen. Rather, I can be like looking at my hands and glancing up. Some YouTubers, you really want to be watching the whole thing, like intently, because you might be learning something. Like when I'm watching Andy Ward, he does like natural pottery. I want to be watching because usually he's teaching like a technique. So that's for like when I'm doing drawing or something, I can do that. But if I'm doing crochet, I like to be able to listen to documentaries, but I feel like I haven't found anything good lately. So I've been listening to a lot of like, no offense to any YouTubers, but like the trash stuff. I'm not saying everybody that I mentioned is like trash stuff. Obviously like Ants Canada, Life in Jars, Andy Ward, those people are like, I'm learning from them and enjoying educational content. But then there's some where it's mostly just trash and I love it. Oh my goodness. Hey Austin, good afternoon. Ooh, Melanie, you love Ants Canada too? Okay, good. I love how he just like tells the story of animals, because that's how I see animals whenever I'm watching my chickens. I anthropomorphize them with Thunder. I anthropomorphize him. Like, they're not thinking in the same patterns and processes as humans, but it's nice to sort of put human feelings and thoughts and interactions onto animals and kind of see how the way that they live is kind of similar to the way we live. So like, I love that about Ants Canada. He like explains the society like it's humans, which I think is a lot of fun. I think it's cool. Your hoodie is so good. I don't have a hoodie. Did I do a hoodie? Oh, the little hood. I did a little hood, but not on a sweater hoodie. Hey there, Shirley. Nice to see you. I love your jewelry, Shirley. Every time I see you comment on my Facebook stuff, I like go back and click on your profile. So if you comment like, nice photo, I'm like, what did Shirley make this week? And I'll just like go over to your stuff and I'll just look at your pretty things. If you guys didn't know, Shirley does jewelry and it's beautiful. As long as we're talking, yeah, it's you, Shirley, right? There can't be two Shirley Whales. Wally, whale, whale. In my head, I say Shirley Whale. Honestly, in my head, I say Sway Lee. Like my brain, when I read your name, puts Sway Lee together. I know that's not your name. It's like a rapper's name. But when I see, no, Wally. Oh, it's Wally. Okay, Shirley Wally. Unless Sway, what is your jewelry called right now? Wow, I'm feeling really stupid now. Sorry. My intelligence just... Dawn, I heard there are 2 more Pantone colors, a bright yellow and a light gray. Anyone else know about the new colors, or am I watching fake news? That's why S. Wally. In my head, it's Sway Lee. Okay, so I'm not totally off, because if you read it as 2 different things, Sway Lee, my brain says Sway Lee. Anyway, I like your things. Your things are beautiful. Your photography of your things is beautiful. Very pretty. Okay, sorry, everybody, for just my general disposition in life. Okay, hold on. Shruthi or Shruti? Is it Shruti or is it Shruthi? Either way, hi. I listen to podcasts while crocheting too. Good. And Austin dyed your hair a new color. What color did you go with this time? Did you go a bright and wild or a neutral natural? I can't imagine that you were going to dye your hair like brown, so let me know. Hey Lori, good afternoon. Nice to see you. Shruti. Shruti. Aw, that's a nice way to say how I definitely butchered your name. Sorry. When I read it before, apologies, but Shruthy, pretty. Also, I'm recognizing in the last 3 days on the lives, I apologize ahead for this, my reaction when my brain is thinking up a sentence to respond to something you've written, my first thing now is to go, aw, to give my brain a pause to actually think of something to say. So while I'm reading, it'll be like, Austin says, mainly because I'm lazy to bleach my hair. I've caught myself several times going, aw, and then the sentence I actually mean to reply with. So if you notice me saying like, aw, that's cute, is the energy that comes out with it. It's not intentional. It's something that's just going on. It's like I need to come up with another word to pause with. It's kind of like the word like. You remember like the Valley girls who can be like this, like basically how I'm talking actually. But anyway, like that, I need a little pause word so that I can think of a reply to some of the things I'm reading, because for some reason my brain lately, in the last couple of streams, I've noticed myself picking up, going, aw, and then replying, but I don't mean aw. Oh, Lori, okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna be, I can't crochet and tell the story at the same time because I'm like, hey there, bang bang, nice to see you. In my head, bang bang into the room. Lots of respect from Pakistan. Oh, hi. Hi, see, I just did it again. Aw. It's like my brain, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, welcome. Okay, so don't forget to like the video, by the way. Click the like button if you're in here hanging out, because it takes no time and nearly no effort for you, and for me it actually translates to like business growth and success. So I would really appreciate it if you could take a second and just click the like button, unless you don't like this content and you're like hate watching, in which case I recommend you dislike the video, because then you won't be recommended streams like this anymore. But if you don't like the stream, you can still stick around, like I don't mind. You can hang out. It's probably a fun time for you anyway, so come on. Okay, and from Turkey, hey Sudam, and how's the new project coming? Coming along well. And how is Peekaboo? Okay, here's the story. Here's what's going on with Peekaboo right now. For those of you who haven't been here before, hi, I'm Laura, and Peekaboo is our stray cat with fleas and worms who is possibly pregnant. So last night I had a hard time falling asleep. First of all, I did my nighttime routine. High five, thank you. I appreciate all of your kind words. This is what I got done last night. I did yoga. I did a 35-minute yoga video. I did the yoga with Adrian day, whatever yesterday was, the video she put out yesterday. Alex and I both did it together. And I did my moisturizing, tidied the kitchen, tidied the bathroom. I actually cleaned the kitchen really well. Brushed my teeth, and I drank water. I'm giving myself like at least a B+ for yesterday. Yesterday was a good vibe. Today's been a good vibe. Okay, so what am I trying to say? Right, Peekaboo. Okay, so Peekaboo, our cat, she is not ours. I snatched her up from the wilds of my backyard, where we don't know if she has a family. We don't know if she's somebody's barn cat who's been wandering around. The only information I really know about her is that she's been walking around our property for almost a year. Like the first time I saw her was like February, March of last year. She was still a kitten in February, March. Not a kitten like a cute little itty bitty kitten, more like a 6-month-old kitten. She then got pregnant in the spring. Didn't come close enough for me to catch her back then. I know she was pregnant because her belly got really big, and then her belly was gone several weeks later. So I made the assumption. I didn't see boob nipples on her. I didn't see kittens. I just assume. Because young cat, big belly, no belly, springtime. So, are you doing the fly lady system? What's that? And the one was, I'm doing it too. The one today was so relaxing. Oh, was it? Good. I did, yesterday was called Anchor, and it was really nice. It didn't hurt. It did stretch a few parts of me, which I kind of felt like, oh, I forgot that part is important to stretch. But yes, Could you make a crochet frock for age 12? I don't have any age 12 people in my life to crochet for at this time, but I could make a adult size and show you how to manipulate it to make it for a smaller size if you'd like. Okay, so anyway, Peekaboo she's been hanging around outside our house in the last 3-4 weeks. And I caught her on the 17th of December. We kept her in overnight because it was really cold where we live on that night. I let her out the following day, and then she disappeared for 2 days. Not right after. I let her out. She hung out around our house for like another week, and then she disappeared for 2 days, and then she came back. Her tummy is like firm. It's quite firm. It kind of feels like there's a small Nerf football inside of her tummy. Like that's the kind of shape of where it's really tight, and I can tell it's like a membrane holding something. And I've been thinking she's pregnant because her nipples have pinked up, which is basically they're like long and 3D now, as opposed to being very close to her skin and kind of obscured by hair. The hair, there's about a centimeter around each nipple that has no hair, which apparently is like a sign. She doesn't have like any engorgement, there's no milk, there's no leakage, there's no other things like that. But she does have, well, she doesn't have fleas now because she's had a bath and she's been treated for fleas, but she does have worms. We're treating her for them 3 times a day for 14 days. It's a non-toxic to the cat or to kittens in case she is pregnant. I kind of was going back and forth on if I think she's pregnant or not, because she is getting a large tummy and I haven't noticed her tummy deflate at all. Like, she's eating a lot, but she's pooping normally. Like, there's nothing that is making me think it's all worms, but after speaking to some of you guys, I was like, okay, well, maybe she isn't pregnant. Maybe it is just the parasites. Because then I started doing a bunch of research last night, and it was saying on adult cats, that tummy is very rare to see from worms. If it was a young kitten, like under 6 months old and under, a lot of the videos I watched on YouTube, like they were like the little vet clip videos, you know, the videos I watched on YouTube, and I just kept Googling different sentences and trying to find like basically like the WebMD of cat things. Unfortunately, like WebMD, when you're like, my ankle hurts and it says you have ankle cancer, if you say my cat ? It's always like your cat's pregnant. It's like pregnant cat is like the cancer of cat WebMD, if that made any sense. But anyway, basically it doesn't seem like she would have a big tummy from worms to the size of her tummy that it is. It's not huge, like she's not gigantic or anything, and I have a really skinny cat as my cat. So I feel like that's why I'm not feeling 100% certain of myself, because I don't have the right frame of reference. My cat is like an emaciated, geriatric, sick kitty, and this cat is healthy, and she's like a domestic short hair, just a cat. He's a Bengal, so there could be different. He's a boy, she's a girl, so I don't know. I can't compare like my cat to this stray. But last night I couldn't sleep. Wow, I got really off track. That was where the story was supposed to start. I was having a hard time sleeping. It was around 12 midnight, and I was like, why am I in bed? Like, this is stupid. I'm wasting time. So I got out of bed. I went into the cat room, and she has her own bedroom because we have a 3-bedroom house, but we only use one of the bedrooms because we're just 2 people. So we transformed one of our extra bedrooms into like the pet room. So it's got like our cat's litter box, a dog bed, a cat bed, a pee pad for Thunder for if we have to go out for a long period of time, food and water for the cat, water for the dog. Just, it's like a safe place for them, and plants, obviously. And then the other bedroom that was being used as my craft room, I took all of my craft stuff out and I set her up sort of like a safe space. So there's like a handle on the window, you know, the handles that like open like that, where you have to turn it. Well, I tied some fabric onto that handle, and then I set up one of my like light tripods, and I made her a little A-frame tent that covers up a birthing box and a pet bed with blankets on it for her. So birthing box is just a large cardboard box with a towel and then a soft blanket that goes like over the whole box, like a large blanket, like a queen size blanket is in the box, but it comes out so that the box looks kind of like a hole full of blankets. And then on top of that blanket, it's like a couple of pee pads, because kittens can get their nails caught and stuff and accidentally suffocate themselves if they're not on like a soft surface. So anyway, pee pads is what their surface will be. And then there's a cat bed next to it. She's been sleeping in the opposite corner of the room, just huddled against the wall. I mean, she's an outdoor cat. Like, I'm not really surprised that she didn't get it to be like comfortable, but she figured out her litter box really fast. So she's got a litter box, she's got food, she's got water, she's got extra water on the other side just in case she's feeling like skittish. She's got blankets on most of the floor, a couple of toys in there. She's not interested, although I did get her to play a little today. Anyway, the other reasons I was thinking she was pregnant initially had to do with the fact that when I would go to pet her, she would immediately flop onto her side and like show her belly, which is like very bizarre for a cat to me. Let me see, sorry. What you guys are saying. Yeah, she's definitely pregnant. I hope so. I mean, I do hope so because I want kittens, but I hope that if she's not pregnant, well, not I hope. If she's not pregnant, she will never get pregnant again. We are getting her spayed. If she's pregnant, I get to have straight kitties. So anyway, your top looks so pretty. Thank you. It was a hand-me-down from my older sister. It's like 10 years old. I started following Adrienne's videos about a month ago, and no joke, it's changed the way my body feels so much. Totally, I agree. I've fallen off of that wagon and jumped back on several times in the last 2 years, and every time that I'm doing yoga every day, I feel good. And like every time that before I had ever tried it, I was like, oh yeah, yoga, you got your vegans and your yoga. No, it's like really good for you. It feels really good. It's like, especially in my upper back and neck, just having someone remind me like to just put them down, girl. Just, why are they always up here? Put them down, put them back. That's how I feel. Check YouTube, Dawn says. Several people doing the system that's bringing calm, clutter-free, clean house that helps with a great routine of self-care too. I have a really good routine of self-care. I just have to stick to it. So it's not a routine. It's not a habit. It's a goal. But I do have it written down so that I can reference like a little pretty, I made a little pretty page so that I can feel like, I don't know, nice about it. I have like a routine from 7:30 to 9:30. If I have missed it, if it's like 8:30, I can look on my list, what should I jump in and start doing? Wash my face, moisturize, brush my teeth, tidy the bathroom. That's 8:30 to 9. Okay, I'm a cat mom and I love listening to this. When they're pregnant, they'll get more moody, attached to you, shun other cats. Well, see, this is the problem. She's not my cat, so I can't use her mood to determine anything because I don't know her mood. I'm trying to get to know her, but if she's pregnant and her hormones are making her all moody, I can't tell which one is like the pre-pregnant personality. Ooh, a lot of alliteration there. But yeah, so last night, couldn't sleep, was hanging out with her in there, and she hasn't gone into the box yet. She hasn't, okay, so she hasn't gone into the box. I'll just call it a whelping box. I don't know what it's called for cats. When it's dogs, the space you provide for them to have their babies is called the whelping box. Look at my dog. His head is just smooshed into the floor between his toes. Anyway, the whelping box, she's not even gone into it at all. And last night she was making the saddest meowing noise, so I went into that room and I was just sitting with her and petting her, and she was hiding in the area I made for her, but not in the bed or the whelping box. And anyway, I was touching her tummy, and I think the space around her nipples that's hairless has increased. Again, maybe I'm crazy and this cat just has worms and there's no babies in there, and this is all going to be very embarrassing when the cat doesn't end up having kittens. Oh no, we're losing a bunch of frames. Sorry if I'm skipping, friends. I can't control that, but I can see that the stream is not great in terms of the skipping right now. I can see that the quality is a little shaky, so apologies. But anyway, so she lets me pet her tummy, which is very bizarre for me. I haven't ever experienced a cat who wanted you to like rub her tummy. And she like knocks out, like literally is in full bliss doing this when I'm like roughly when I'm doing this to her tummy, like when I'm being not petting, when I'm like massaging her tummy, she's like very happy. She really likes it. She doesn't meow, she's purring really a lot, but it's also painful, and I can tell it's painful because her skin kind of tightens away. So obviously I'm not doing that as like a rule. I just noticed when I was touching her tummy, if I was being more deep in like a massage type touch, her skin would like clench, but she was happy. So I feel like there's some vibe of pregnancy to me. And yesterday she was making this really sad noise, like just a meow, and then I came in and she was right up against that whelping box, like at 12:30 at night. Like she wasn't in it, but she was right up against it. And she was just lying down on her side, and her tail was like aggressively wagging. And for a cat, to me, that always means unhappy. And then when I went over and started petting her, her tail was aggressively wagging, her head was on the ground, but she was purring. And she didn't freak out because she's shy. She's not like a big fan of you coming up into her space, and she was pretty comfortable with it. And then today, I hung out with her for a couple of hours this morning, maybe 2.5 hours I spent in that room with her, just cuddling, just petting her, just brushing her hair, you know, just checking on her and stuff. And while I was in there, she jumped out of my arms. I was sitting on the floor and I had her in my lap, and she was doing this on my lap, and then she jumped out of my lap and into the whelping box. And she's very like mobile when you're petting her. So if you're petting her, she's like twisting around and like doing constant donuts in my lap. Like she's like, I don't know, she doesn't sit still. So while I'm petting her, she's always like going to try and get pet. Like if I'm going like this, she's like shoving her head into my hand. But she went into the whelping box. This was probably 20 minutes ago, or I guess it's more than that. How long have we been hanging out? We've been together half an hour. So it's 45 minutes ago. And she jumped into that whelping box and curled up and put her head down and stopped asking for pets. And I knew I was going to go on live, so I left. But she has not gone, she's not gone in there yet. She's been afraid to go in there. I've put her in a couple times and she immediately jumps out. So to me, that's like, she's acknowledging that it is I mean, obviously, again, I am 100% anthropomorphizing literally every teeny tiny thing about her that I can. So in my head, I'm like, she knows it's time to have babies. She's an outdoor cat, but she came to the house to try and get to a safe place to have babies in the warm. Her sides are bulging. That's what's weird, is that her body is like her shoulders are normal, her ribs are normal, and then right where her ribs end, it's like this. You can feel that, like if you feel the bulge, you can feel it continue under her ribs. That's why I say it's like a football shape. And then it comes out to this really wide, it feels like this shape. And then it's just her hips right after. So I think she's pregnant. I think I felt kittens. I think. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth so hard if I'm wrong, and if I just felt her have gas, or if I just felt literally her poop in her abdominal area. Possible. It's possible that I just felt a poop or her kidney or gas, but I think I felt kittens, and I think I felt movement. But I don't know, because I've never experienced this. I've had neighbors who've had cats, but by the time I arrived and experienced the kittens, they were all born already. So I don't know. Isn't there a pregnancy test for cats? Yes. But I'm not really in the mood to go to a vet and pay a whole bunch of money to find out that she's pregnant. It's more like if she doesn't have babies, then I will be taking her to the vet to find out what is making her, like, distended abdomen. If she's a stray, she is probably pregnant. Seeing most strays are pregnant, unfortunately. Again, I know it's unfortunate if she is pregnant because there are so many cats, there's so many kittens, and I know in my heart I would prefer if she had been a spayed feral cat. But since I don't have control over it, and it's not up to me if she's pregnant or not, I might get to have beautiful, beautiful kittens. YouTube algorithm, where am I? You are here at the Last Minute Laura show where I am talking about cats. I was crocheting, but then I got excited talking about my cat, my new kitty. You should stay, it's a fun time. Shao dear Daz. Cool. Nice to see you. Shruti, if she lets you, you can feel their tiny little heads. That's what I think I was feeling. I think I was feeling tiny little heads or like spine, because it was I felt sometimes, and I've felt CJ, I've palpated his whole body, so I know where his organs are located because he's been sick several times, and not only at vet visits, but me myself. And my sister's husband is a vet. Like, I felt cat organs. I know, that sounds like a serial killer. I have felt my cat, nope, that still sounds like a serial killer. I have been able to identify certain organs in my cat just by feeling his skin from the outside. That's not what I was feeling. But she also is a girl cat, so I don't know. If she's not pregnant, again, I'll be a little embarrassed because I like really believe that I'm seeing things that tell me there's pregnancy. But if she is pregnant, then I'm going to be like, see, look at how I was so good at knowing she was pregnant. So here, if you guys in a couple of weeks, if she has kittens, we're gonna all acknowledge that I'm brilliant and discovered her pregnancy with my amazing pregnancy detection veterinary skills. And then if she's not pregnant, we're gonna just pretend this never happened, and we're gonna pretend that I was always just thinking she had worms. Okay, cool, awesome, thanks guys, appreciate. It'll be a beautiful experience if you do take the time. If the kittens are real, which I'm convinced that they're okay, can we just pretend she's pregnant, and then if she doesn't have babies in a couple of weeks, we'll deal with it then? Because I'm excited about these babies that I don't know if they're real. It's literally like the same feeling as like when my period is late. Two feelings. One, sheer mortifying dread at the idea that there's a possibility in the world that there could be a human growing inside me. And also amazing joy excitement, like the human already has a name and I've raised it. Like, both of those things happen in my own brain. I have an IUD. I just too much information, friends, but I have an IUD. I literally can't get pregnant right now. But that's what my brain does. Late period, either oh my god, I can't believe this, it's the worst, or oh my god, I can't believe this is the best. It's kind of where I'm at with the kittens, except for not with the existential dread tied in, because it's the cat, you know? Sorry, Lori. Yes, you can see the sweater I'm working on. I have a lot of energy and I'm feeling really like upbeat. Can you tell with my smoky eyes? I was going for rock star look today. Okay, here's what I'm got right now. You know how sure I am that she's having babies? I made her own bullet journal spread. And look, see this? This space? I've already allocated 6 kitten spaces. I've drawn peekaboo. I've put information that I know about her. When we brought her in permanently, she loves belly rubs. Alex is very allergic to her, and I've left room. I've left room to draw her kittens. Oh my god, what if one of them's an orange tabby? I'm keeping it. If there's an orange tabby, it's for me. Actually, whatever one Alex falls in love with, because then he won't be able to say no when I say, can we keep it? That's my vibe. Okay. Okay, the kittens will be a pain once mama stops taking care of her baby's poo and pee. Well, I'm not worried. I like animals. Mess is fine. I have space for it. That's where I'm at. Please keep this color of your hair. Anka, you like it? This is my natural hair color, which is insane because, oh, sorry, Lori. It's insane because it used to be blonde. Okay, so here's the body of the sweater. I drew out the initial pattern for it. I haven't written the pattern, but I drew out the idea. So it's 2 hexagons, and then the sleeves are going to be like attached in, and the sleeves are going to have to taper to a point, because at the top of the shoulder it's going to be the point. Imagine this folded over. This is the sleeve. This is how the pattern is going to work. There's 3 changes. So there's a increase, straight lines, decreases. So that's what it's going to be. At this point, we're manifesting these kittens. Honestly, kind of, yeah, 100%, yep. I'm pretty sure I manifested the cat. Like, I only believe in like manifesting and all those destiny things when they work in my favor, obviously. And in this situation, I was genuinely freaking out about CJ's health. I thought he was going to die because he wasn't doing well, and the vet had been checking him out and he wasn't getting better, and he was on like multiple medication. Anyway, he started eating again when we brought this cat in. And yes, I had to force feed him, and I was also in the process of like taking him to and from the vet. So maybe that's what fixed him. Or maybe this magical manifested cat joined our family, and I was interpreting it as my cat's gonna die. A replacement literally manifested. So my cat is for sure gonna die. Now I'm looking at it as my cat has a spirit animal who is pregnant, full of life. It will bring life back to, this is my cat, by the way, in case you were like, what is she talking about? This is my cat right here. Okay, love your natural hair color. Thank you, Dawn. Hello, Laura, keep this color. Oh, I read that. Okay, and here's the sleeve that I'm at right now. Where I'm at right now. It's not too baggy, but it does have like a good amount of space in it. More than the Fancy Nancy cardigan, but less than the puffy sleeved jumper. Ooh, and it's got a really nice drape to it because it's a thin yarn. I love the colors. This is gonna be like an everyday spring sweater for sure for me. CJ was lonely. Oh my god, maybe. It's funny because he's actually like the biggest jerk, and I think he would have such a fun time like play fighting with another cat. When will the pattern be on Patreon? Once I've written it out. I have a couple patterns already written though, Lori, for Patreon. So it's Tuesday. This week's pattern that's going up on Patreon is going to be, I think, I don't know what it's going to be. I think it might be the body of a sweater, like just a regular body, like the outline for a regular body. It might be that. If I can get this finished, it could be that. If I can get it written out, then sure. It's come out beautifully. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. You totally have a crochet style now. You think so? You can see a style. That's like saying I'm stylish. Basically, you just said I'm stylish, which honestly, I appreciate, because my style is like, I would say a cross between 1950s housewife, staying at home during a pandemic, aka I'm wearing sweatpants with this dressy shirt, and also 1800s housewife also. You are. It's come out beautifully. Oh, hey there, OG Beats. And CJ was lonely about that though, for real. I'm hoping that he can either get along with Peekaboo, in which case I would want to keep Peekaboo, or he could get along with one of the kittens, in which case I would want to keep a kitten. Pretty much, there's one of like very few options happening. Either I'm keeping the gray cat, some family claims the gray cat. That's not gonna happen. She's a stray. I'm like 100% sure she's a stray. Worms, fleas, pregnant, that's not somebody's cat. Whatever. That's still an option, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm thinking we keep the cat, my parents keep the cat, my sister-in-law keeps the cat, or a close friend. I have 4 options for Peekaboo, and then I have 5 options if there's kittens. Like 5 people in my life who I was like, I think I have a pregnant cat, and they were like, good, let's just keep it in the family. All the kittens can just stay in the family. So there's kind of a couple of options. The cat is staying, Peekaboo is in my family basically now. Peekaboo is one of my family cats. I don't know if she'll live with us or if she'll live at my parents' and be a very pampered barn cat. I don't really care. It's based on Alex's allergies. That's the main thing. When will the pattern be going on Patreon? I already answered that. Who are you? Welcome. I haven't seen your username before. And the pattern for this sweater, I haven't written it yet. So once I write it down, I'll have more information. I don't want to promise a day until I've actually started writing it. But the pattern will be going up for patrons before I even finish filming the video for this. So you'll have access to the written pattern, and then you'll get patrons, you get the video in advance of everybody else also. So if you are interested in getting the video and the pattern before anybody else, the pattern is actually just exclusively for patrons. That's the only place that I'm posting it there now. I'm posting all of my bullet journal patterns that I come up with, the ones I've already come up with and moving forward. You know what I should do also? I should post my old ones just so that all my written patterns are on Patreon. That way they're at least all archived somewhere. Anyway, all of my written patterns are available to all of my patrons, and then patrons who are from $5 and up have early access to all of the tutorial videos. And once we have a little bit of a group going there, we're also going to be doing extra live streams there. So if that sounds interesting, join Patreon. If it doesn't, the videos are still going to come out here, and they're going to be free, obviously, because it's YouTube. Okay, let me see. I'm finishing up a crocheted purse. Cool. What's it look like? And Jewel of God. My kitty is 18. Her brother was 24. Wow. 24. That's a long life. Honestly, I had almost like fully believed that CJ wasn't going to get better because the way the vet talked about it and like the way I was feeling. Obviously, I was also going through a little bit of like Christmas depression. Yeah, I'm cured right now. Anyway, the Christmas depression was making it easy for me to believe the cat wasn't going to make it. And now I feel way better about it. He is up and active and biting Alex again. Not like aggressively like he used to, but like he's got some feistiness to him, which I'm very happy about. And he's only 15, so if we could get another 9 years, that'd be amazing. That's a long time. How old's the oldest cat? I feel like it's in its 30s. Anybody know? Oh, hey there, Dunca. Nice to see you. Making a soft, puffy one. Ooh, a soft, puffy purse. Is it with like with the hair, the yarn that has like hair coming out of it, so that it's rage-inducing to work with, but comes out with really pretty, fluffy product? I can't think like what I'm thinking, but you know. Svay, good morning, good afternoon. Right now I'm crocheting a velvet brown bear pillow, stuffed animal, and I'm making a little sweater that matches the sweater I'm making for myself. That's adorable. You should do a photo shoot when you're finished, because can you imagine how cute that would be? It would be very cute. Oh, also I was bringing one of my plants. I have a 17-year-old white Chihuahua. 17? Oh, I hope so. Thunder. Can you stay alive until at least you're 17? Would that be okay, please? Look how cute he is. You're a good boy. Thunder. Bang. Bang. That's what he does as being shot. Good boy. Good boy, Thunder. He's so good. Such a good dog. Those projects sound cute. Hey there, Abby. Good afternoon. What am I doing here? I'm knitting a forest green V-neck cardigan. Ooh, that sounds nice. I love forest green. But not in cars. I don't like forest green in cars. Like those like Porsche cars are always forest green or hunter green, and like Toyotas are, I don't like green cars. But other than that, yeah, I love green, just not as cars. Seeing you reminded my mother, she also weaves. Aww. See? I just did it again. I reply with aw, but that's not what I mean. It's me making a pause before starting a sentence. I have to get myself out of that. I think by acknowledging it, I will eventually shame myself out of it. That's cool though, OG. That, she remembered that she weaves. What has she made? I want to make a woven table runner. There's this Instagram person I follow. Her name's Salt Textiles, and she does like natural dyed yarn and then weaves it into beautiful like tapestry art things. I want a table runner. I like the look of a woven table runner. Hey there, Amira. Beautiful name. Beginner here. What do you do if your hook is not the right size for your yarn? I don't believe that your hook can be the wrong size for your yarn. The only time that that's a thing is if your yarn is way too chunky for your hook. Like if you wrap it around your hook and it can't hook the yarn, then that's the only time I would see like you needing to get a bigger hook. But if you're saying like the skinny yarn with a thick hook, that's not a problem. Look. I'm using a 5.5 millimeter and look how skinny this yarn is. So I would say just, if you're doing it like because a pattern says you need a 5.5 millimeter, if you're a beginner, I would say make sure you're using the size that they recommend because it can be hard to manipulate the pattern. But once you get a little bit more into it, once you get started, you can swatch to make it, okay, how do I explain it? Like for this sweater, if you made it with a different sized hook, you would just need to add more stitches to make it come out the right size, or you might have to take away stitches to make it the right size. But you don't necessarily need it to be the same hook. Wow, that's not really good advice. I apologize. Sorry, Amira. Hopefully that helped a little bit. Everything you make is amazing. That's very sweet of you to say. Hey there, Nancy. Good afternoon. I've decided Peekaboo is pregnant. I've come to the executive decision. I think she's pregnant. I don't know. She's right. She's pregnant. The cat's pregnant. Anyway, if that is the case, I'm going to convince Alex that we need a new kitten or a cat. We can keep Peekaboo if she doesn't cause Alex allergies. Oh my God! Oh, good. I'm glad that helped. Cool. Sometimes I answer questions and I'm like, that didn't help anyone, but if you got something out of it, then I appreciate it. Let's all manifest it, Abby. I agree. Bring healthy kittens to my life, but just the ones that are already in the house. Don't bring me any like other stray cats. That'd be like super weird. If a whole bunch of pregnant cats came, that'd be like a little awkward, and then it would make me feel like a powerful witch. So also don't do that because I don't think I could handle finding out that I can literally manifest pregnant cats. Just the one that I've already have in my house. If that could be a pregnant cat, that'd be great. Thank you to the universe. And what witch? Thank you for all the little cats in boxes. Honestly, I'm not sure how I got here. I swear I didn't click anything. Oh, did you end up at the weird end of YouTube? It's okay. You're always 3 videos away from like a conspiracy video, so you might as well just hang out here. But I love your house. Oh, thanks. Chip. Wow, I already almost screwed your name. Chip Trippy Fox. Thank you. I was going to tell you guys, I brought this plant up today, my Alocasia Polly. It's been living in my basement with Alex in his office because it doesn't need a lot of light. If you've never had kittens before, please don't be worried or upset if one doesn't make it. That's extremely common. Yes, I'm mentally preparing for anything because the father of the kittens could be this cat's brother, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who she got. She could, yeah, exactly. Kittens could come out sick or dead, totally. Hopefully not. Hopefully we get like 4 to 6 adorable, no pregnant cats, sorry. Yeah, well, only this one, Lori, just this one cat, not any more cats. Jewel, sadly, yes. Okay, so my Alocasia Polly, I brought it up from downstairs to check how it's doing and just like look at the soil and see if it needed to be watered. And like, I'm a plant goddess. This thing is this has got to be more than a year old now. I'm pretty sure this is more than a year old. Alex? Alex? Yeah? You remember when we went to Ottawa to visit Mallory and we went to that Home Depot and I got a plant? It was in the winter. Wasn't it? When did we go to they were still living at their old house. I think it's about a year ago. Just say, if new life is coming into the world, thanks for letting me be the midwife. Yeah, Dawn, that's kind of the energy I have. If new life is coming, I'm so happy that it's here. That's what I mean. If new life is already coming, I'm very happy that it's in my house. But, yeah, I don't want to attract pregnant cats to the world because, you know. Anyway, this Alocasia Polly, I've been seeing a lot of people complaining on the internets about how theirs keep dying, and I feel superior to everyone because mine, for some reason, isn't dying anymore. I had all of them die back, like all the way down to nothing. So they were just little bulbs, and I put the little bulbs into my terrariums, like this type of thing. And when they came up with new little leaves, I put them back in a pot and they grew back. They're not as beautiful as when I originally got them. Like you can see, like the leaves aren't, ooh, hello. The leaves aren't perfect. CJ bit this one a few times before I moved it downstairs. And it's very prone to spider mites, but other than that, it's so, isn't it like, doesn't it make you look like a real plant person? Like if you see my house and you see this plant, you're like, wow, she must really have plants. I feel like this is like a plant where you level up as a plant person. But if it comes out of a bulb like this, and you're gonna get like leaves coming out, it's only gonna have 1 or 2 leaves at a time before a leaf dies, which is kind of sad. Because you can't have, like, when you buy them, it's like this full magical plant, but each plant can only have like 2 or 3 leaves at a time in reality. So yeah, it doesn't end up being super full, but I feel proud of this plant. Also, I brought this up from downstairs so I could show it to you, because this is also part of Alex's like office plants, as that's why it's dying. Actually, while we're here, I'll trim off the dead leaves. But anyway, I got this several months ago, and it has started to vine, which makes me really happy. It also reverted to green, which also makes me happy, because I did buy it as a maroon, like it's like a ruby, I think it's called red velvet syngonium, that might be it. And they're like super red, but if they aren't getting the light that they want, I don't know if mine is getting too much or too little, they revert to green, which is fine with me because I just really like the shape of syngoniums, and anytime that I see one that I don't have that is not expensive, which syngoniums tend to not be too expensive, I want to buy it. I can't say I've always bought them because I don't have unlimited money, but if I did have unlimited money, you bet your bottom dollar I would be one of those girls with all the fancy syngoniums. There, that's a little better. But anyway, the plant is now cascading. This is kind of what the leaves used to look like. You see, it's kind of like reddish brown, and the new leaves are coming out beautiful green, but they still have like a red vibe. The white powder on there is diatomaceous earth, because this thing got a really bad case of thrips. Not this, it brought this is what brought thrips into my house. Thanks for literally the worst bug infestation, sorry. Anyway, I love that plant, and I just wanted to show it to you, because it makes me happy. I have to go to my online class. Okay, bye, Svea. I think Svea. How many do you think are your plants? More than 200. Probably less than 500, but more than 200. I don't know. I don't know. Part of me doesn't want to count, because then if I count, I can multiply it by like the average amount I spend on a plant and find out that I've spent a lot of money on plants, and I kind of like to deny that fact. I just like to imagine that I got all of them for free. Like, some of them I did. This one. Oh no, this one I paid $3 for the original plant last year in March, St. Patrick's Day. Is that not the coolest? Little clovers. See, right now they're closed, except some of them. There's open ones over here. They're closed right now because there's no sun today. It's a cloudy day. When it's sunny, they open all the way up. And the backs are like red, or purple, sorry. I love this plant. To be honest though, like, I love most of my plants. I think I love all of them. There's a few that I like, if it died, I wouldn't be sad. But for the most part, like my spider plant, if it died, it's right here. It's in this plant pot. Just doesn't matter. My red clover plant is dying off all of a sudden. Any advice? My advice would be cut all of the clovers that are left on it and just put them in water. They will root into new plants. They'll make a little seed, like a little bulb. They'll turn into a little bulb at the bottom if you leave them in water. But cut all of the remaining leaves off in case your actual plant is dying. That will be your safety. But if your plant is not dying and it's just going dormant, that will like incentivize it to put up a whole bunch of new leaves by cutting all the leaves that are on it off People keep saying that. Medi, you're like the third or fourth person who's come into this stream being like, YouTube, what are you doing? How did I get here? We're just chatting about plants. If you're into plants, you can hang out. Did you hear that spider plant? I know, but it's just so, it just doesn't, the truth, it just doesn't matter to me. That's the truth. I'll show you what I mean though, Lori. So this plant, I cut all of the leaves off of it, and because I cut them all off, see how all the new leaves are coming from the same hole? These are all new since having it cut off. Do you see that's so weird how they grew short and then long? And then the leaves that I actually cut off of this plant before, I ended up putting them in water to root, and after they rooted in water, oh no, a little sticky trap. Hold on. Putting my plants in danger here. After they rooted in water, I put the little started stems into dirt, and now I've got a whole new plant. This one's named Frida. Well, not this one, the adult, the original plant is named Frida. I guess this one would be like Frida's son, because it's the baby of Frida's plant. Oh, this one would be Millicent then, because Frida's baby is Millicent. If you're new here, those are people who are usually here in the stream. Well, I just messed up everything trying to show it to you. I'm so sorry. That plant is going to now struggle for like a month. That plant is very sensitive. If you touch it too much, it doesn't have a good time. This is my spider plant. I got this thing as a cutting from a botanical garden, and they let me. Or it wasn't a botanical garden, it was like a bird aviary. I am having a little bit of a struggle right now with a couple of my plants though. Maybe you guys could help me out if you have any plant stuff. I know this is supposed to be a yarny live stream, but I mean, come on. Yarn people like plants, right? So it's this plant, my Scindapsus pictus exotica. Beautiful plant. Doesn't have much new growth, and I'm losing leaves. My leaves are yellowing, and that's not how normally I lose leaves on a plant. I don't know why this is happening to it. The soil is dry, but it's not like so dry. And the plants aren't telling me they're thirsty yet. Like the leaves on these plants, when they're thirsty, they start to curl, and they're not telling me they're thirsty. So I'm like wondering, like what's the problem, friend? I just don't want it to die. I really like this plant. Oh, hey there, V. Love plants. Good, I'm glad. I'm like out of breath from talking. That shows you I should be more physically active. That's fine. Okay, Amira, I'm gonna go now. Okay, bye. I have to sleep. It's like 4 a.m. here in the Philippines. Oh, well, thanks for hanging out until way late. I'm leaving in Dubai. We don't have plants. Well, but you have like probably really good food, right? Yellow is too much water, but it's not though. It's in a terracotta pot, and I water it like if once a week. I don't water that one often at all because I'm like worried. While we're talking about crochet plants, about plants, Danka says, have you done any crochet hanging plant pots? I have, not pots, but I did a plant hanger crocheted. I should do more of that though, because indoor plants are like vibing right now, for sure. Aw, thanks for coming, OG. Isn't yellow leaves too much sun? But that's it too. Do you see where it's located right here? So the sun comes in through this window, but it comes on a sharp diagonal. So like the sun comes in like this. So this shelf is all my low light plants because it's the least sunny spot. So that is a low light plant. All of my other low light plants that I have in this section are like chillin', having a fine time, but that one seems to be struggling, and I haven't overwatered it. Like the soil right now is bone dry. I should water the plant, but I'm gonna wait until the leaves curl up. And the pot also sucks excess moisture, so I don't understand. But it's not dying, but it's losing like 2 leaves every 2 weeks, which is more often than what I would usually think. Yellow happens also. Honestly, yellow leaves is literally every symptom. Amira, before I go, I'm curious if you've tried knitting. I have tried knitting. I've got knitting needles in my little crochet holder in front of me. I'm not good at it, that's all. Or I'm not fast at it. I'm fine. My tensions are fine. I can make a pretty thing, but I'm not good at it. I'm not fast, and I'm not competent at fixing it, like if I make a mistake. But yes, I have knit in the past. Have you ever made a temperature blanket? Aubrey, no, but we were talking about those yesterday. They seem really cool. Oh, yours is already super cool? I'm glad about that. Oh, Wilma's here too. Hi, Wilma. Hi, V. And for a crochet plant hanger, do you mean literally like a whole pot? Like crocheting like a container for a nursery pot to go in? Or do you mean like a net to hold a pot up? Like a hanging net? Because there's two different things, like a macrame plant hanger. What is going on? A macrame plant hanger or a hanging plant pot, because both are cool. Oh, I also brought this plant down to show you because I'm really happy with how well it's doing. We had a little moment earlier in the end of summer where I thought I was going to kill this. It's a handmade plant pot by me, made with clay that I harvested from my back garden. And this is Senecio macroglossus variegata. I'm not even a plant YouTuber, and I got that right on the first try. It's basically, it looks like ivy, but it's not. It's a succulent. And I got it as a cutting 2 years ago, I believe, just under 2 years ago, in Toronto. It was like a hanging, it wasn't a hanging basket. It was like the medians in the middle of the road. There were these spilling out everywhere, and I took a cutting about that big. I just broke off a little branch and put it in my purse. And then when I got home, I rooted it. It grows slowly, obviously, because this is almost 2 years old, but it did almost die once, so maybe this is a year and a half old of success. But I know it's happy now because check out the variegation. You can see there was some time where it was struggling to get its roots built, so while it was building its roots, it made some like warped leaves, like that leaf is incorrect. You're wrong, leaf. And it also made some leaves that were like mostly green. And now that it's under a grow light, my dad gave me a grow light that he built for my mom for her seeds in the spring. And now that it's getting the proper light, the leaves are coming in the right shape again, like a pretty triangle. Look at how nice that is. And look, I actually took it out. That's the reason why it's over here now and not under the grow light, is because a leaf came out fully white, and I don't want them to be over variegated because I still need it to be able to produce energy for itself, and the white leaves can't. But you can see which way the window is because all the leaves face one way. Look, it's the backs. It's just pushing towards the window. Isn't that fun? Naturally variegated? I'm not sure. I didn't even know it was a cool plant when I got it. I just thought it's an ivy. I'm gonna take a cutting. But then I started watching plant YouTube because pandemic. And I actually started watching plant YouTube before it was a pandemic, but anyway, just joking. I'm not joking, but I am joking about the attitude with which I said. Anyway, finding out that it's actually a variegated wax ivy was really cool because it was just part of like a summer plant display in the city. And they have those all over the place, just like on the sidewalks. They'll have like marigolds, just tons of marigolds in the summer or in the fall, and in the spring in Toronto they'll have tons of pansies. Well, the greenery from that year was all different beautiful ivies, and they do it on such mass, but now you can't even find this plant at a nursery. So it's like, it wasn't cool yet. I took it as a cutting from an outdoor summer garden. Like, the intention for that garden at the end of the season was just to be ripped out and replaced the following year. But now that cutting, like, you can't find it. I can't get any more of it. Like, I was looking online to see if I could order some from, what's that American company, Logi's? They had it on their website, but it was sold out. That's the only place I've even seen it. Otherwise, it's just been plant YouTubers being like, this is my Senecio macroglossus. I got it from a nursery 48 years ago. And I'm like, ha, I stole mine from the side of the road. Better story, I think. That's a pretty thing. I think so too. So gorgeous. I agree. Hello from Marlo. Hello, hello, Lanola. That's a beautiful name, Lanola. I like that. It makes me think of Eleanor and Laura, and I don't know what else it makes me think of, but I like it. Lanola. Because pandemic is the new catchphrase. It's literally like, oh, your skin is not glowing effectively and is covered in small pimples because pandemic. That's me right now. Oh, you learned to bake? Why? Not me, that's my sister's. Because pandemic. Aisha, hello. How are you today, Aisha? And granola. It makes you think of granola bars. Very well. Good. Gotta say your hairstyle is pretty elf-like today too. Oh, thank you. I was feeling kind of like 1980s rock star vibes this morning when I was looking at my hair. And I was like, let's go for it. And then I put on a ton of eyeshadow because my skin is very unhappy for some reason. I don't know what I did. I do know what I did. I wore makeup 2 days in a row. I have like zits everywhere. Like literally my whole face right now is, I have freckles, so I know it's not bad enough that I feel bad about it or anything. Like I don't have any like you don't have to go like, no, I have zits. That's what's going on is the point. And I have small ones everywhere, all over my face right now. Like there's one right there, one right there, one right there, one right here. There's one somewhere up here. And I don't get cheek zits ever. That's not part of like my hormonal zits. For me, normally it's just around my chin. And there's a few of them on my nose. And I'm like, I'm almost 30. This is not a thing that happens anymore unless I eat a whole lot of dairy or wear something that my face is upset with. And I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna have to wash all my makeup brushes is basically where we're at. Probably it's just from wearing makeup. Hold on. Granola, yeah. Aditi, oh, thank you, appreciate that. And I'm very well, good, I'm glad. What am I doing? You have every time knitting. I'm not knitting, I'm crocheting, but yes, usually if I'm doing buy anti-allergic makeup. Wilma, the truth is, I don't wear makeup enough to bother buying, like, ever now. The only makeup, I don't put makeup on my face, like, I don't put, like, concealer or foundation or concealer, foundation, what's the other one called? There's concealer, there's foundation, and then there's cover up? No, I think that's concealer. Whatever stuff you put on your face, I just put moisturizer and then I put highlighter like powder here. So there isn't anything on the parts of my face that are reacting except my regular moisturizer. And all I do is wash my face and use my moisturizer. So I don't know, like, the zits are not in the spot where makeup exists. Like, there is no makeup on this area of my face. The only face makeup I have on is, like, it's like a powder to make it look like I'm greasy. There it is, you can see it there. A powder to make it look like I'm shiny. That's all that's on my face. I have a little bit of it right here, and a little bit here, and a little bit here. And then other than that, it's just on my eyes. So, disinfect all tools, I think that's probably it. I know, I only use mascara, but I did, and it works. Well, if it could be my makeup anyway, I think it has to do with the fact that my makeup is all old, and I just don't use it often, so when I do use it more than a couple days in a row, touching your face a lot, yeah, that's definitely not helpful, Dawn, for sure. Hey there, Sega! Just popping in to say, hi, off again to binge watch Star Trek. Have a good time while binge watching a crochet doll's dress. That's fun. A crochet doll's dress could also be a very small baby's dress, or a small cat's dress. Oh, if there's kittens, we should do a kitten photo shoot with crocheted items. Because they're only going to be really, 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 really cute and small for like a couple of weeks. I should make little crocheted hats for the future kittens. Oh, make them little, oh, I have to do. Alex, will you do like a magical photo shoot of the kittens dressed up once they're born? Yeah, cool. Alex got a new camera, and I'm gonna make him. 34 likes. Pardon me? Yeah, like the photo shoot with Scout. Oh, a little video shoot with yarn balls. So cute. My parents' kitten, Scout. Alex and I picked him up from a barn. He was like an outdoor barn cat. And now I really want you to have kittens. Me too. We'll have to, oh my god, we'll get to name them. Not that that'll be permanent. I literally love new animals. You guys don't, like, I love new animals. I know responsibly I can't have all of the animals that I want ever. It's just not gonna happen. Because, like, I can't keep all of the things that I want and still have any sort of life. You know what I mean? Tousled makeup, eye infections are dangerous. That's true, Dawn. But I love animals. I love having the opportunity to interact with them, and you know what this is gonna make me do? It's gonna be a good trial run for me to convince Alex to have us start fostering again, because aside from the allergies that happen, never say never, Laura. I mean, Nancy, okay, did you guys ever watch A Series of Unfortunate Events, the movie? Well, the uncle that the kids end up with, not the evil one, the second one, they go to an uncle who's like the coolest, like literally what I would love to be in my life is the uncle of the children from A Series of Unfortunate Events. He has like an emporium, he has like all of these beautiful animals. Some of them are kind of like displays, some of them are like pets. That, Nancy, is what encompasses my soul for what the goal of like I want an emu and I don't want an ostrich. I kind of do want an ostrich, but I'd take an emu because they live better in the cold climate. But I mean, like, I want a donkey and an emu and a couple of llamas and a couple of goats and a bunch of dogs and lots of lizards and frogs and birds in a aviary style thing with like a glass ceiling full of plants where the lizards aren't even pets, they're just like in the wild of the gigantic glass box. Oh. I don't think I need any snakes. I think I'm good without snakes because Alex doesn't like them and that means I'm gonna have to deal with feeding them and it's not really a good vibe. Basically Noah's Ark. Yeah, so kind of. Basically, Donka, yeah, I want a unicorn, a cup. Honestly, when I was younger, I was like, all I want is a pet raccoon. And then I came to realize that they are easy transmitters of rabies. And if you have a raccoon and it bites someone, or a skunk and it bites someone, it automatically has to not only be put down, but has to have like its head detached. It's like a very dramatic way for them to die. Therefore, I don't want anything that is like that, like a fox or a skunk or a raccoon, even though the three of those animals, and a possum and a porcupine and a squirrel, I would love them. But I do live in the country, so I get to enjoy them from out here. Did I tell you about the possum? I don't know if I told you guys about it yet. If I did, sorry, but I'm about to repeat my story. I've told Alex. Alex was there. I told my parents. I got some of my makeup stuff for 15 years easily. Yeah, I know, it's like, oh, I do have quite a few items. Like my highlighter that I use on my cheek it's old, it's a while. You crazy animal woman, that's me. Okay, so, no, I didn't tell you about it yet? Okay, good then, that makes me fun. Because the last couple of days, I've noticed that there have been, let me tilt you down so you can see what I'm working on. I'll back up just a little. There. Okay, so the last couple of nights, or the last couple of days when I've been going out to feed the chickens in the morning, I've noticed in the snow there have been footprints. And I just assumed they were raccoons because they kind of were like little hands. So in my head I was just like, raccoons, little hands. It's because I spread birdseed out for the wild birds as well. So the wild birds are near our back porch, and then the chickens, I give them their food, both of which have tasty snacks in them. So it's not surprising that it would bring around other animals because, again, I'm feeding wildlife. I'm giving the birds sunflower seeds, and everybody likes sunflower seeds. So I've just assumed it was the raccoons because we've had raccoons in the backyard before. The night before last night, I was up still at 10 o'clock, which is kind of late for me. I'm like an early bird to bed usually. It wasn't a raccoon. It was like a 30-pound possum. It has hands like a people. I don't know why my brain didn't like catch it, because the hands of a possum are like very humanoid and very rounded fingers on them. It's very like a small handprint walking, whereas a raccoon, it's more like a hand with long claws, like little tiny hands with long claws is what raccoons' feet prints looked like, whereas possum paws are like big, weird, not big, they're still small, but the possum itself was close to the size of a beagle. Like, it was a large animal. And our possums here aren't like your cute European possums. There are cute possums in the world. But the possums that live here are just hideous. I think they're adorable. Like, I like them. I like what they look like because they're so ugly. But why are they so ugly? They're not even a bad animal to have around. Like, they eat grubs and they eat ticks and they're resistant to... What is it that they can't get? Is it rabies that they are resistant to? Or is it, maybe it's Lyme disease? What are opossums resistant to illnesses? They're resistant to something. There are many things within the biology of a possum that make them so adaptable. For example, they are immune to virtually every form of snake and snake venom. That means they will eat snakes, like cottonmouths, rattlesnakes, but we don't have those here. In defense of possums, from the Wildlife Habitat Council. Oh, they're just so ugly! Oh, sorry, there's a picture. It's a marsupial, which is fun. We've got our very own kangaroo, our little rat kangaroo. They rarely catch Lyme disease. They're impervious to rabies because their body temperature is too low to host the virus. And they're immune to the stings of honeybees, scorpions, botulism, snake venom. They're literally like superheroes. Why are they so ugly? I love them. Anyway, they're ugly. Like a big rat-like, totally. They are rat-like. They're like big rats. Like a big, it's like a big rat. But their eyes are very small in proportion to their head and body. And their hands don't have any fur on them. So they look like they have human hands. It's very weird. They're not cute, but they're so cute because they move so slow and they have a big rat tail and they look so mean with their sharp little teeth, but they're slow. So I opened up the bathroom window because that was the closest window to like where he was, and I started talking to him. And I was like, what are you doing in my backyard? Eating my sunflowers at 10 o'clock at night. Who do you think you are? And he like was like, and after I would stop talking, he'd turn back to what he was doing and he'd be picking up sunflower seeds, and then I would call again and say something and he just turned, and I was like, hello? I was maybe 10 feet away from him, but I was inside the house and he was out. He was looking right at me and being like, I don't have to go anywhere. I am a very slow possum. So then I made like annoying noises. Like I was like, like go away. Like it was like, what did I do? That's what I did. So I was like, go away with noise. And then I swear he like got startled and took like 3 running steps and then just waddled away. Just waddled like as if he was like, I'm going, and then whatever, man, like I kicked him out of a bar. And now we have a possum that, well, not we have, I didn't catch it, don't worry, I'm not crazy. That being said, I mean, of all the wild animals that it would be safe to catch, it's safer than catching a raccoon or a squirrel because you're just not going to get rabies. You know? I mean, I still thought he was pretty cute. I didn't hear him make any noise. The last time I heard a possum make noise was when I was like a teenager. I remember there was one in our backyard and it went. That's the noise it made. That's the only noise it made. When we were like bothering it and being like, look, a possum, a possum! That was the only noise it made. So this one didn't make a noise, but it was cute. The end. You talking to me? Yeah, pretty much what it was doing, Dawn. He wanted to know what you were doing in his territory. Yeah, he's like, you set out these sunflower seeds for me. In my reach, in a little bowl. No, those are for the ground birds. What are they called? I just watched a birds video. Leslie the Bird Nerd. I even commented on the video. I don't know if any of you watched them. Nancy, I'm pretty sure you watched Leslie the Bird Nerd. But Leslie the Bird Nerd is like a Nova Scotia / Maine / PEI person. She's from the Maritimes. I don't know if she's from the States or Canada. I think she's Canadian. Anyway, she does these little informational videos on birds. And the bird that she chose today to explain about was so, well, I guess not that weirdly because she was talking about how they're very common, but the bird is a bird that's been at our feeder all winter that I haven't known what it was. And any time that I've been like, do you know this, Alex? Do you know this bird? He said no. I described the bird to my dad and mom and they didn't know what it was called. And they're all over our yard. I know the names of lots of birds like sparrows and like, wow, now I don't. Chickadees and the birds that come to our feeder. But this bird, I'm just gonna get the video up because I want to know what it's called. But I was kind of, I was pumped because I kind of feel bad for not even knowing the bird though, because like this poor little dude's been just sort of living in like Canada my whole life, and yet the junco, dark-eyed junco is the bird. But they're from here, and I've never known what they were called. Poor babies. I've never given them the time of day. Like goldfinches, love on them. Chickadees, everybody loves them. Dark-eyed junco? Never heard of them, but they're all over my bird feeder, so now I'm glad I know who they are and I know what they like. And I know that they're coming to my bird feeders because I've been filling them with black oil sunflower seeds. Hey there, Jenny. Good evening. Nice to see you this evening. This afternoon. I suppose it's still afternoon. Anyway, I have lots of birds at my bird feeder, and now I have possums. Well, a possum at my bird feeder. I don't know, do they live on territories? Like, do I only have one possum, or do I have possums? This live has been so educational. I'm glad that is, you're getting something out of it. For me, it's just been helping me get my stuff done and get some of my chattiness out. I'm like a little kid, you know, you take a little kid to the park to tire them out. I need to be like tired out, but from chatting. Hey there, Rosie. Good evening, good afternoon. Nice to see you. I don't know how long this sleeve needs to be before I start my decreases. It's probably getting close to the time though to start my, let me see. Win-win, absolutely. Okay, so if this is the sleeve and we need it to get to the top of my shoulder, right? It's the top of the, yeah, that'll be the top of the shoulder. So it needs to be a longer sleeve than I would normally make, I think. Or a shorter sleeve because there's no, I think it might just need to be around the same. Okay, so if this is the length I want, like I want it to be a full length sleeve, right now we're about here. So pretty much I want to keep going until the bottom corner touches my body, right? I think so. Maybe not. Because this... Okay. Hold on. Let's just see. Love a chatty Laura. It's better than a depressed Laura, that's for sure. Okay, so let me just put this over here for a sec so we can spread this on the floor. I'm going to let you guys see what I'm trying to figure out. Okay. Hey there, Thunder. the body. It's not blocked yet. Once it's blocked, it'll be a little easier to deal with because it's kind of curved right now, like, you know, twisting or rolling. I promise all of these sides are even. Okay, so then, if this is the neck, then we want this to attach to the armpit like that. And then we want the triangle, basically. We're going to be doing a triangle. So, okay, so actually this is something I can figure out with, like, not math, but with something. I can figure this out. Hold on, just give me a minute to figure it out. Okay. I guess it would have been math, but I'm going to just do visual math. That's a thing. Okay, so this is 2 layers thick now. That'll go where the arm attaches. We'll want it to do that. So we need this. We might need the arm to be bigger. Is that what I'm figuring out right now? That the armhole isn't big enough. Okay, so we need the armhole to get to a width of twice the width of this so that it can fit properly. Because the arm is going to get sewn in like that, and there's not enough fabric to do that right now. So this is not wide enough. How much do we need to widen it? Okay, so now is when I should widen it then. I'll widen it for a bunch of rows until I'm about here, and then I'll start to do my, okay, I think I've got it. By George, I think I've got it! How'd you get all that done so fast? I took forever on my sleeves. It's double crochet, it's a scam. I'm just scamming you. It's double crochet, it makes everything faster. Okay, I'm back now. I have figured out my problem. Now I just need to get I do need a stitch marker so that I don't forget when I'm writing the pattern. Feels so holy, 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 holy moly. Oh, thank you to all of you who sent me these stitch markers last year for Christmas. I still use them. A whole bunch of you guys did, and that was really sweet because I'm also like the queen of losing stuff, so this has allowed me to still have some. Okay, so the first is there. When do we stop increasing? Oh, I already marked it. You're so smart sometimes, Laura. Okay, and then we'll mark this also. How many rows is this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I'm gonna pull out this row so that 15, is 15 the right number? Or should I do 16 as the, hold on, I need to keep my numbers like nice so that they're easier to understand, I think. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so 20, 12, hold on, 13, 14. Did I count wrong this time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, let's just do it at 14 rows. So first 20 rows, then 14 more rows, and then we're gonna do, how many rows? Probably like 10 more rows, but now with an increase. Sorry, I have to figure it out and I can't figure it out in real time for some reason. 1 and 2. So now I'm gonna be doing increases just at the ends, I think. Right? I'm gonna do increases, but just at the ends. Stressful. Okay. Don't worry about me, friends. Just figuring out what I'm doing with my life here. So, smaller group than yesterday or the day before. I guess people are more busy today. I'm just doing a test of these longer streams to see what it is, what it feels like, what people, if that's what people are more interested in, is doing like longer days together. Because I have a lot of crochet work to do, and I can do it like this. I can hang out with you guys for like hours and hours because I have crochet work to do. But I don't know if that's the vibe, like if that's what people want right now, because I I still am. I do Wednesday streams for 2 hours, and I don't usually get more than a couple hundred, 300, 400 views on those, but yesterday and the day before, they both are over 2,000 views each, so I don't know, I figured that meant that people were liking the extra long stream, but then today we don't have that many in at a time. I'm happy you're all here, I have no idea how to make judgments about my channel, because I have no idea about YouTube. I don't understand it. Like, sometimes I think I do, and then sometimes I'm like, why do I not understand anything at all about what this is supposed to be my job, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, like today so far, 376 views have happened. Oh my god, 7 dislikes on this video? Jeez, calm down, people. Rude. Could I get a couple of likes here, friends? I got 7 dislikes. I just checked the stats. Why did I do that? That was a bad idea. No! Anyway, like the video if you're here. Oh, I did tell people to dislike it if they didn't like the stuff I was talking about. Maybe that was my problem. Instead of disliking the video, you should like it. Well, yesterday was a weekday, and so, wasn't it? It's Tuesday, yeah, yesterday was. Aw, Sunshine Leclerc, that's a pretty username. Fairly new to your channel. I'm glad you're here, welcome. I hope that you'll hit the like button, because apparently nobody likes this video today, which is fine. No, I doubt they're bots. Bots don't usually interact that much, like, by disliking. They just come, don't do that again, Laura. Yeah, probably better not to check until after the stream. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, today is a slower time slot, I guess. I'm just interested in seeing, like, what times of day people would prefer streams at, how long people would like the streams to be, what content you want me to talk about in the stream, because, like, I'm just a chatty Cathy. I can talk about a lot of things, you know? Long days are nice. My life is slow right now. I want to get crochet work done and not feel alone. Okay, cool. So that's good information to have, because I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time, because life. But anywho, and I have a lot of crochet work to do too. The only downside for me is I can't do the other half of the sweater in the live, you know? I did like it, hun. Just sat and crocheted a little while you were live. Aw, oh, thank you! You subscribed too. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Just do as you do. Wilma, with your kind energy. You have kind fairy godmother energy. I'm liking the longer streams. It motivates me to get my stuff done. Oh, well, me too! Look at how much faster I've crocheted a sweater. I haven't made a sweater in like a long time. Maybe not a year, but it's definitely been like, I don't know, I think the last one I made was, what, the Fancy Nancy cardigan? Might have been the last one I made, and that's been months. It's been months and months. So, yeah, I'm enjoying having my motivation and my wrist back. My poor little wrist was having some carpal tunnel rage. If you can see why, look at how I'm holding it. I need to, like, find a way to crochet with a straight wrist. But it just, over time, it just starts doing that. Anyway. So what's everybody else working on today? Anybody start any new projects? And if not, how far are you on your current project? Your live is helping me finish up my purse. Oh good, I'm glad. Do you prefer cardigans or jumpers? I think I prefer jumpers because then it's a whole outfit, whereas if I wear a cardigan, I have to have a shirt planned for underneath. Does that show you how lazy of a human I am when I dress sometimes? I just like that if I have a pullover or a jumper, it's like, yeah, I don't need to think about the undershirt. Like I could wear anything and it wouldn't not match, whereas with a cardigan, like I can't wear anything as my undershirt. Just finished the front of my sweater. Good job. Well done. I do like a good cardigan though. My favorite, but I only have one. I made one and that was the only one I ever made. Like, that's all I got. Well, I did make one a long time ago, but it was like really poorly constructed and I don't even think I have it anymore. Because it was one of those things. A wrap type pullover. I live in the north. Where do you live? What, north where? I like layering my jumpers with turtlenecks, so either way I have a top. Right, but the turtleneck doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if your turtleneck is stripy and your jumper is stripy, whereas if your turtleneck is stripy and your cardigan is stripy, it can look like a little crazier. Oh, you're in Ontario too. Hello. Have we met? Are you on my Instagram? Do I follow you on Instagram? Not have we met in real life, because Ontario is quite large, but I mean, I think I might follow you on Instagram if your username includes Sunshine and Leclerc in it, because it seems familiar. I'm also in Ontario, Canada. Yes, I am in southern Ontario, Niagara region. Not that north. I'm actually in a microclimate, which is very nice, which is why all of the peaches grow here. I'm starting a blanket today because I finished my cat's cushion. Oh cool, Rosie. How did the cat cushion turn out? Has your cat fallen in love with it yet, or does it still think that it's not a cat item? I don't know, if you put anything with a shape on the floor, cats claim it. At least mine does. This is a dog bed right here, and the cat has claimed it. It's just a pillow that I sewed for the dog, but the cat has it now. Indeed. What size blanket are you going to go with, Rosie? I'm trying to think of what I can tell you about what's been going on in the wildlife here. Oh, that's such a pretty area. Peaches, I love peaches. They are a tasty, tasty fruit. I wish my parents had purchased a peach farm, but they have a pear farm and an apple farm. It's a pear and apple farm. But also I'm like, apples are fine, but like imagine if it was a peach farm. That would make me very... I would have had a lot of peaches. Maybe a baby blanket? Well, that's nice. Any babies who it's for, or do you make things to sell? And whereabouts in Ontario are you at? Sunshine Leclerc. You don't have to be too specific, just in general, so that I can like relate to you on a Canadian level. Oh, I also saw a deer yesterday when I was driving to my parents'. Did I tell you that? Yesterday? Probably I did, because I saw you guys yesterday. But I saw a deer, and it always makes me very happy to see deer. It also makes me very happy to see turkeys or anything. What's your favorite animal to see out there? Like, literally any animal. I love seeing raccoons. I will say I saw that possum the day before yesterday, and it made me like really, like I was very excited that there was a possum in the backyard. But, oh, I think maybe the most exciting, I don't know about my favorite, but I think the most exciting / scary was a coyote. I saw a coyote run right like down our driveway while I was out in the backyard with the chickens. That was scary, but like interesting because cool. Oh, hey there, V. Hey there. Beauty Journals, nice to see you. Have a good rest of your day, V. A few hours north of Toronto. Oh, that's nice. I go camping that way. Oh gosh. Favorite animals to see. I still love seeing the blue jays every single day. I love seeing raccoons, even though they're just little trash pandas. I love seeing, honestly, any wildlife is very exciting and happy for me because I don't have any of those animals inside. Like the least exciting animal for me to see would be like, I guess sparrows would be my least exciting because they're so common. Pretty much every other animal, I'll stop what I'm doing to watch if it's in my backyard. Like anything. If the blue jays are at the bird feeder, I'll stop and drink my coffee staring out the window. If there's cardinals, same thing. If there's squirrels eating like around the backyard, yeah, I just pretty much, I love seeing alive things living their best life, and I like giving them snacks. Turkeys are always fun. They're so silly. They're really, like, they see far away. They can see and hear far away. I think red foxes are my favorite. Moose are crazy too. Oh gosh, I've never seen a moose in real life. Well, allegedly I have in my childhood. I can't recall ever seeing a moose in real life. But they are a magical, mystical creature, aren't they? So hello, 123 Gaming. Nice to see you, Masood. Good afternoon. I see quite a few white bunnies lately. I haven't seen any white ones. I've seen a few like winter rabbits. Like I don't think they're bunnies. I think they're rabbits because they're quite large and they look more demonic than a bunny, if that makes sense. I feel like rabbits have sort of demon energy, whereas bunnies have like pet animal energy. Rabbits, they have like goat eyes. They look shady. They look like they look suspicious for sure. They're a suspicious animal. Winter rabbits, like jackrabbits or hares or whatever. Bunnies, I have them around, so they don't really, I guess they're the least exciting, other than like sparrows. I would say bunnies are like the next least exciting because they're around all the time. If I saw a fox out here, ooh, I'd be very excited, except I'm supposed to be upset because foxes kill chickens, but haven't seen one here. But people are always like, be careful with your chickens, there's foxes around here. And Alex and I are like, when? Where? We have not seen. Definitely be afraid. Yeah, they're gigantic, and when people get in car accidents with a moose, the people die. The moose will die because its legs will break, so it ends up having to get like shot by the highway patrol. Sorry for just giving you all of that graphic information, but they don't die from impact of a car. They die because one of their legs is broken and they can't heal. Like, people aren't going to rehab a frickin'... What even is it? It's a unicorn deer. It's like a saber-toothed deer. It's like a deer, but it's a deer from back when megafauna were still a thing. That's what it is. It's like a gigantic, huge deer. Right? They're cool though. And really pretty. And really like, it's like seeing a bison. Like if you've ever come up, the idea that I have about a moose is how I feel about a bison. And I've seen bison up close. And when you see them up close, you're like, that's not a cow. Because you have to look up at the animal. And like, when you look up at a horse, you're only looking up at its head, but its back is usually kind of near your head height. Whereas a bison, you're looking up at its head, and you're looking up at its whole body. Everything is high. It's a big animal. That's kind of the vibe I get from moose. I see them in media, and I'm like, that's bigger than the SUV. Don't get out of your car. What are you doing? Get back in your car. But that being said, if I ever saw a moose in real life, I'd at least definitely open the window of my car and reach my hand out to try and make a new friend. They're wild. And they can swim. Why do they exist? They're very interesting. Speaking of moose, reminds me of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Aww. Speaking of Rocky and Bullwinkle makes me think of Alf. Word association, I guess. You know, alien life form, Alf. Used to have a stuffed animal that looked like him. Kind of looks like a weird possum. No demon talk. Goats are not demony. Yes, they are. Look at their eyeballs. What do you mean? I like goats. Don't get me wrong, but have you seen a goat? Have you seen like how their eyes are literally sketchy? Aren't goats literally like in devil lore? Goats are like a devil thing. Boy goats. Isn't the devil always hiding in a boy goat? Isn't that like a thing? It is a thing. When you see like demon art, they usually have a goat head. Yeah, goats and hares. Oh my god, I literally had to bring someone's goat home once. Was it staring at you from the edge of your driveway? Because you shouldn't have gone near it. Black goat with horns, yeah. Beady eyes. Look up a goat's eyeballs. Freaky. Talking about moose reminds me of once I saw someone standing about 5 feet from a wild elk, and all I thought was, uh-oh. Yeah, elk are big. Moose? They bigger. Don't talk that sorry, Dawn. But, okay, I'm gonna have goats, don't you worry. I will cleanse their goat energy. They do make really cute noises. That's cute. Sometimes they just sound like they're yelling humans, which I think is very funny. Rabbits have the creepiest eyes for me, just can't read them. Yeah, any animal where I don't understand what it's trying to tell me, it stresses me out. Lizards are hard sometimes because you have to like birds, like a parrot, I can like read because their eyes are doing stuff so you can see what they're thinking. At least I like to believe that. Whereas like, out of the energy off. Keep the demon stuff out of the energy. Yeah, let's just keep it out. I agree. Moose are the blue whales of land. Totally. So weird. But like the chickens, their eyes don't move in their head. Like they don't look around. They move their head. And then their pupils, they don't dilate and shrink like really quick. Like fish, same thing. Like their head has to move. So you just can't get the emotion the same way. Don't get me wrong. I love my chickens. It's just they're not as easy to read as like Thunder. It's like Thunder can go, like he can do things with his face to tell you what he means. My grandma used to have a goat and I used to take her around the village for walks with me. A little doggy goat. Oh, Dina. Hey, Dina. Was on the road and my phone is only 70% charge. Oh no. And my phone died partially because I took 7 videos, I believe. Oh, fun. What did you record? Nancy, I have unicorns in my yard. The unicorns in my yard are impossible to figure out. Unicorns in your yard. Let me think what you mean by unicorns. Do you mean deer? I'm trying to think if there could be any other forest deer creature. I guess horses, but I doubt you're meaning horses, or I'm gonna say it was deer. I have a dog. Well done. I like the way you typed that. A moose. I don't know. I feel like moose and gigantic animals always give me like comfortable slow energy, like elephants and stuff, but they're actually not. They're like just very large animals, so they can be like ragey too. I try to like acknowledge, but at the same time, if I could pet a moose, I would definitely pet a moose, you know? I'm kind of chilly. I think I'm gonna put a sweater on. You know what? I was just saying about how you have to have a matching thing if you're gonna wear a cardigan instead of a sweater. This is why. Look, see? Doesn't make sense with this shirt. This shirt doesn't have any of these colors in it, and this sweater doesn't have any blue or anything. It doesn't make any sense. So, hello, Saim. Saim, did I say that right? There we go. My poor back. My stiff back. Cramps are killing me. Same! If you've heard me go, anytime during this, same. That's why. Saim, I'm from Ontario, in Canada. Very well, Dina. First day of lockdown. Oh, it's only your first day. Well, welcome to the club. Shopping in a store, more like browsing. Then after using, I saw some things I thought would be nice. I'll video them. Oh, fun. Although, browsing, you're allowed to go browsing shopping. I haven't gone browsing shopping and I would love to just browse, but no. Here, all of the fun shops that are worth browsing in are closed because they're all not mandatory. It's just the grocery store that you can like browse in right now. If I don't do my purchase today. Well, cool that you filmed a whole bunch of videos, 7 videos, well done. Very productive. I'm from Pakistan. Oh, cool, well, welcome. There's quite a few people in the last couple of days that have been coming from Pakistan, so cool. Just join the club. If you like to crochet, or if you like animals or plants or handmade things, or just a generally chatty person, then subscribe. Iced coffee in my cup. Hey there, Luke. Dina, I have, well now technically I suppose it's iced tea. It was hot tea, but then I didn't drink it. Living that lockdown life. Yeah. Sometimes we just gotta not go outside for a long time, you know. That's the vibe. Let's see, Rosie. I used to not even know what a goat looked like because I had only seen pygmy goats, but when I saw a large goat, it was so, yeah, they're bigger. They're bigger animals. The Nigerian dwarf is like the ones you see at petting zoos and stuff. And then when you see something else that is not a Nigerian dwarf, they are much bigger. Saeem, my aunt also lives in Canada. Well, where in Canada is she? Because Canada's a big place. It's very big. Lots of people. And some parts of Canada are, like, colder. Like, is she in Ottawa where it's freezing? Because Southern Ontario is where it's at. Oh cool, we're neighbors. I'm from India. That's awesome! I love this. I love how big the community ends up. It's just so many people from all over the place. Very fortunate to be in New Brunswick. Indeed. We're in yellow, so things are quite normal here. People actually wear masks. Oh, well, if you could just send that energy down here, that'd be great. I think everybody's wearing masks anywhere that I've gone, but I only go to the grocery store and to the gas station and like the pharmacy. Pretty much that's, oh, and the feed store, but there's never anybody at the feed store because in the country there's like one employee at a feed store. Hello from Australia! Hello, KK. Nice to see you. Donka, because I answered your message, how are, so I wondered if you're okay, hon. Oh, it was staring at me with its scary eyeballs. My cousin is just above the Pacific Northwest. Just above the Pacific Northwest, aka Vancouver? What's above the Pacific? Alaska? Above the Pacific Northwest. Would just be north, it would still be the Pacific Northwest, wouldn't it? Just the Pacific Northwest. Going to have an early dinner, then get started on puppets and crochet angel lollipops. You must have a million of those, Dina. Oh, I think she lives in Toronto. Toronto's cool. I lived there. Alex and I lived there for a couple of years. In our teeny tiny one-bedroom condo right by the CN Tower downtown. Yes, Vancouver. Well, see, I know a map. I can do a map. I can do a map, don't worry. I know where some things in Canada are. I think that, Dina, I think she was just asking. I don't think it was like a pointed thing. I think it was just like, how are you? You know? Just so, that's how I read it anyway. Shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, if the cat has kittens, what are some good name ideas? Let's start brainstorming kitten names. Obviously, they won't be permanent names because I'm not keeping all of the kittens if she has kittens. If you've just joined us, we have a stray cat. And the stray cat is probably pregnant. Probably. And I have had multiple intuitions that there are either 4 or 6 kittens. I don't know. There might be 1. There might literally be not any, but I believe there are kittens in there, and I think there are either 4 or 6. And even though I know there are, oh no, did I do a chain 1? Are you on drugs? Why would you do a chain 1? That's not, I did a chain 1 in like the weirdest spot. Okay, I'm just gonna hide that, I think. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna end up being a troll thing, but keep your eyes peeled, mods. Oh yeah, it was just a nice thing. Let's see. Seems to be giving a lot of that. Yeah, except for we don't get any hugs anymore. Why would I put a chain 1 there? Is that what I actually did? That seems so not like something I should have done. Okay, so if I put it there, then I should skip that. Okay, sorry, I just don't want to end up with an extra stitch here. I'm gonna just I hid the other thing. We should all meet up and have a hug. 7 dislikes, what am I watching? Derek, you're watching the best show on YouTube, if I'm being honest with you. You should definitely probably take a second to like the video to, because it's very fun here. We talk about plants and we crochet. The vibes are immaculate. I don't know how I got here. The vibes are good here. It's a good vibe. It's nice to hang out and chat and do crochet work and drink tea together and just pretend like we're all in one room being normal and just sitting and chatting. Dio. Hello, Dio. I'm married. Hello. Uh-oh. What time is it there? It is 4:09 p.m. here. So that's the time. Already liked it. Good, thank you for liking the video. A few names I bestowed upon my grandchildren. Cleo, Peppa, Spud, Gloria, Sam, Nala. Grandchildren, fur babies or human babies? Because I have a dog, well, she passed away just before Christmas, named Cleo. Not mine, well, she was mine, but she was like my parents' dog. We had a Cleo. Okay, let's see if I fixed my mistake here. Yeah, that's gonna have to do. I'm very hungry and touchy person. Last year I hardly had any hugs because, oh, yeah. I remember the first time I got to hug my mom after the first lockdowns happened here. Like in March, we stopped having any physical contact with everyone. You remember when it started. And it was like 6 months that I hadn't hugged my mom, and my dad got like one of those drop plastic, like shower curtain type things so that we could hug, and like we all cried. Like it had been so long that I hadn't hugged my mom and dad that like my mom and dad and we were all crying just because we got to like hug each other. And they don't even live far. It was just like, yeah, it was a lot for people. It was a lot for us. I like hugging my mom. My mom's like #1, hugger #1. And no hugs for 6 months was really hard. Now we just wear masks and hug, but we wash our hands and we wear masks around each other. And they're part of my bubble, so we don't really like, they don't go out, and neither do me and Alex, because we don't have anywhere to be, because we're in the middle of a global pandemic. Don't know if you knew. Nancy, sending virtual hugs from Nova Scotia. Yes, thank you. Did you make that cardigan? I did. Someone already asked that a minute ago. Oh, it was you again. Did you make that cardigan? Yes, I did. It's called the Fancy Nancy cardigan. It's actually named after Nancy Nickerson in the chat because she sent me the yarn for it. You know what's funny? I'm still using this is also yarn that Nancy sent me. Nancy is the yarn fairy godmother. I'm sending a massive hug from the UK. How's the sleeve coming? Pretty good. I have to add a bunch of increases right now, and I don't know if that's going to make this look not good, but we're going to have to find out. I don't really want to frog all the way back to here, but part of me wonders if I should and just make it an increase all the way. Yeah, I should. I already hate it. I already hate what I'm doing right now. While it's just the idea of frogging something, for you guys right now on camera, you get to see something that is so rare on the Last Minute Laura live stream, and that's me frogging. I'm about to take out like 15 rows, which is frustrating. Mary Grace, hey Mary Grace. I bought my very first ergonomic hook today. Very cool. And oh my god, I understand the hype. Yep. I made 3 single crochets and I already love it. Yeah, I think increasing makes me tired. I feel like for me it's, I don't know if I want the shape of the sleeve to have 2 increases. Oh wow, thank you. Aw, totally, Black Lives Matter, absolutely. I literally found this on my recommended seems like a cool person. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not really a cool person, but I appreciate you thinking that, and I hope that you hang out with us. Thanks for the super chat, that was really cool. Really cool of you. Did you guys know that? You can super chat and just send me money on the internet. No pressure, but just so you know. Yeah, totally, yes, Tony, which is strange because I think that started off as a joke and then they realized how fun it is to hang out here. And they were like, what? This isn't worth trolling. I just would rather hang out here. So much more fun. Thank you for feeling my pain. I just, I have to go all the way back to this stitch marker. Just deep breaths. This is what should earn me super chats, is the fact that I'm frogging something so that it's a better quality item. That's I'm 28, Erin. Oh, send me your love right now, friends, because can you see what's happening? The ball of yarn I'm holding is getting larger, and that upsets me. I'm just not going to get upset about it because that means we just get to hang out more. That's all. We just need to get to hang out more. It's fine. It's worth it. Ooh, you're 28 too? Cool. Well, 28 seems pretty cool. It's like almost 30, but not yet. That's just the way it goes. Maybe I'm unraveling. Yes. In more ways than one. Yes, I'm unraveling because it's not wide enough, and I thought that I could just edit the pattern on the go to add wide width to the arm. 29 next month though. Oh, well, happy almost birthday. But I thought I could fix it while going, but I think the actual final product will be better if I frog it, and so I'm frogging it. I'm just convincing myself. And you're seam ripping. Okay, good. I look younger, really? I'll take it, because I actually, you know what the truth is? My wrinkles are very far away from you. I don't think that, I didn't take good enough care of my skin, so in reality I think I look older than I am because my like crow's feet wrinkles are quite defined. It's just this webcam is like not great. So it makes it look like I have very nice skin and no wrinkles, but in fact, oops, in fact my skin makes me look older. At least I think so. Which is another reason why I don't wear any skin makeup anymore, because it just highlighted the things I didn't care for on my skin. I feel like when I don't wear anything on my skin, just like highlighter and moisturizer, I feel like it looks less old. Not I look less old, my skin looks less old. I probably look younger in your head because I'm like, this is like how I keep my space. It looks maybe a little less organized than someone my age should have it. Oh well. The sun is down almost. This is hurting my feelings, doing this. So, yeah, if you're not a crochet person and you're just watching this to hang out, cool. You're still welcome to join in the chat, even if you're not into like handmade stuff. I'm just doing crochet stuff, but you can talk about whatever you want if you're like interested in plants or handmade other things, like pottery or jewelry making or embroidery or mending or upcycling or sewing or hand sewing or natural dye. Did I say animals? Also animals, those are all things I like to talk about. We are the worst critics of ourselves. You look lovely, Laura. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yes, you're right. I don't have any problem with the way that I look anymore, for the most part. Like, obviously, once in a while, I'll have like one of those days where I'm like, eh. For the most part, I'm okay with how I look. Just, I also acknowledge I did not take good care of the thin skin around my eyes. I did not take good care of. Oh well, if I have a kid, I'll just remind them to moisturize their skin every day. Tony, I'm a pastry chef. Oh, come live near me. I can't do any baking for anything. What's your favorite thing to make? My favorite baked good. My favorite pastry chef type of food. I don't know. You know what it would be? Probably like something like something with whipped cream. For sure. Whipped cream always like elevates things for me. Good morning, welcome back, OG. Oh, Tony, you're making me hungry. Just knowing that you're a pastry chef, that's enough to make us hungry. That shows you the group we are. Pastry chef makes me think of pastries. Now I want pastries. Just the word pastry makes me like, love a good pastry. Okay, now I'm back to where I was. The ball has almost doubled in size. My heart has halved in size. Oh, look how short it is now. It's fine. Anyway, I'm just going to keep my increases going. I'm going to increase at either end of every row until it's the right width. My heart. It's fine. It's going to be fine. So, if this is not interesting to you, apologies, but I want to talk about the cat more because that is something that is basically all-encompassing on my mind all the time right now. Unanimous agreement, snack break. What could I snack on? No, I don't want a snack. I thought about it. But we were, before, talking about themed names for the kittens and what we would name the kittens. We need 4 to 6 names because I believe there are either 4 or 6 kittens. Not based on me like feeling 4 or 6, I just decided that's how many there are in there. I've basically just created a narrative. If the cat isn't pregnant, I've like jumped off the deep end. Pretty sure she's pregnant though. Anyway, what kinds of names would be good? Part of me wants to go with like animals, you know, like moose and bear. Ooh, first glass of Prosecco, very nice. For those of you that didn't know, Prosecco is essentially champagne. Champagne can only be called champagne if the grapes used to make it are from Champagne in France. Champagne is a location in France. But if the champagne is made, say, in Italy, it wouldn't be called champagne, it would be called sparkling wine. Prosecco is a sparkling wine. So if you're going somewhere and you want the vibe of champagne, but you don't want to, you know, splurge on some Dawn, just get Prosecco. Tasty. One should be TP. Oh, Dawn, that would be funny. If we make them all COVID-related names. I mean, it wouldn't be funny. COVID's not funny. I mean, the names would be, though. All the things. What even could it be? What other names could work? I don't know. I kind of love the idea of themed names. They don't need to be themed. We could name them whatever we want because the rules are there ain't no rules, and also the kittens aren't going to keep the names we give them if we end up finding homes for them, right? But what theme? Exactly. I'm happy with Prosecco. Same. I think the only times that I have champagne were when I got engaged and some New Year's, you know? Some New Year's. Not every New Year's, but some New Year's. Novel. Poppy. I already have a Poppy. Wilma, we already have a Poppy chicken. I love her. We already did flowers, so I think that flowers, we don't need to do flowers or plants. Who's everybody isolating with? My man. Just me and the animals and the man. Mask. Aw, little mask. The one that has a mask, hopefully. My cats are Mildred and Arthur. You should give them little old person names. You know, the first chicken we got, I actually named Diane because in my head, I wanted to have a cat named Diane sometime in my life because I thought it was so funny, the idea of yelling at, because you yell at cats. You don't have to yell at dogs because when you yell at them, they feel so bad. But cats don't feel bad, so you have to yell at them like, get down off the table! I love the idea of like being on the phone with my mom and being like, Diane, get off my couch! And having it come off like it's a person. So Diane was the first name we used. It was like Diane and Janet were the two names my older sister and I used to joke about having cats named Diane and Janet. So I kind of love the idea of like sassy lady names or... But the problem is, I also love themed names like the gods, you know, like Olympus gods. So we could have like, or who's the Nordic gods, you know, like Loki. I love the name Loki for a husky. So cute. But like Thor, Loki, or we could do like Poseidon and Aphrodite. You know what I mean? Like we could do that sort of thing. Let's see. Well, we're in an open, and when this all started, her bull was spending the night, so we decided to include him in our bubble. I think that makes sense. If he's already coming over, then he should be in your bubble too. Now there's 3 people in my apartment. That's cool, I guess. Well, if it's started her bull, that's, first of all, love the name of her, I guess her second, like you're her primary and that's her secondary. But do you have access to the secondary, or is it like your girlfriend has 2 possibilities, but each of you only have 1 possibility? Is that how it goes? That's the actual term, her bull? That's fun. Hey Alex, can I have a bull? Pardon me? Just a bull? Alex said I can have one. I was joking. A bull is a term in open relationships that is like a girl's secondary man friend. I didn't know, I just learned it. It was a joke. I don't need a bull. I don't ever want an actual bull either. Like if we get a cow, I don't want a bull. I would rather just borrow a bull if we wanted to get her pregnant. I would rather borrow a bull. I don't want one myself. You can't trust bulls, unfortunately. Anyway, sorry. As long as you're happy, anything goes. Anyway, I've always had interest in open relationships. I'm just like not a person who could do it. Like Alex and I, when we were earlier in dating, we talked about like if that was something that we could, I don't really want a bull either. Fair. We talked about if that was something we would ever be able to like mentally manage, and both of us were like, I don't think I could. I like the idea of supporting Alex in any part of his growth and being able to be like, you go flirt with that person because your heart was drawn to do that. Like I like the idea of that. I'm just not that person. Like I don't think I could do it in practice. I think like in practice there would be a lot of resistance on my end. You know what I mean? Yet again, another animal I'm afraid of. Yeah, you can't tell what they're gonna do. I don't know about that. Anyway, Tony, thanks for the fun little opening of a conversation. And sorry if your bull is in your china shop, breaking all your glass stuff. I used to be called a bull in a china shop. Probably I'm still called that to some people, but people would like reference me as a bull in a china shop. I don't know how many things I've actually broken, but I guess people just assumed I would break things because I'm a little spazzy. It's just amazing what you can learn on this channel. Right, Nancy? I was gonna just say, well, I'm gonna say it because it's funny, but I was gonna say different strokes, and then I realized it was gonna be a double entendre, right? That's correct? The right turn of phrase? I'd like to have a bull, but my husband said no. Well, I don't know if you're talking about an additional sexual partner or if you're talking about a male cow. So, either way, sorry. I'm a one-man woman, but maybe. But maybe like just like once in a, just like it's not a, you know. He's very jealous. Yeah. I don't know if I'm, because it's not like, I don't know what I feel. I guess I haven't really written down, you know what I mean, what I feel, to like actually discover where my resistance comes from. Like, is it that I would have a fear that Alex would choose a secondary partner over me? Maybe. So like a fear of rejection? Possibly. Is it a fear that I would find someone different than Alex? Maybe. Is it a fear that, is it fear or is it jealousy? Would I be jealous of somebody who Alex had a relationship with? Like, I don't know. I haven't really like, you know, like worked through it. Either way, I don't think I would ever even attempt it until I worked through it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of, like, I don't have to think about it really, so I don't. But I would, if Alex like ever brought it up, like, hey, what do you think of this option for relationships? I feel like I would have to work through every one of the ways that I feel about everything before even really having that conversation, because I just don't really think about it, because it's not really something that's on the plate, you know? You can have ours. That's funny. I came in here for crochet, but I learned so much. I mean, to be honest though, crochet is like, it only takes half your brain at a time, you know? You can ask questions about crochet, I'm happy to answer them, but it's also fun to just chat while we crochet, you know? Helps that he doesn't speak English. Yeah, that would, at least then you don't have to deal with making out a relationship. It might be for the better. Oh, I'm so happy we cleaned the kitchen yesterday night. It like makes my whole evening this evening much easier because it's already clean. Ooh, who's texting me? Someone's texting me. Probably my sisters. Yep, my sisters. Just sending each other memes. There we go. So, what do you want to talk about? Ford, Chevy. Oh, Candace is here. Hi, Candace. Hi. Hi, Candace. My heart is sent in your direction. If you want to share, please do. If you don't want to share, you don't have to, but know that I have feelings and I direct them in your direction, and they are warm feelings. Dawn, seriously, I'm working with really old, somebody's grandma's reheat, and it's getting wider and wider. I'm working with really old what? Somebody's grandma's reheat. I don't know what you're... Oh, repeat? Somebody's... Oh, Red Heart yarn. It's getting wider and wider. What does that mean? What do you mean it's getting wider? Like your project is getting wider than it should be? I like cars. That's a fun idea, because I told Alex he could name the chickens after cars, and then I didn't do that. I ended up naming all of them after flowers. Cars is fun. Let's see. Fiat, Porsche, Mercedes, Lincoln. Little Link the kitten. Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, Das Schat, Jaguar, true. Bentley, Bentley's the name. What's that other car that's big like a Bentley that Alex likes? Don't know. Jaguar's a good one too. Mercedes, I do kind of like Lincoln, and I kind of like... I have a friend named Chevy, so I can't use Chevy. Rolls Royce, that's what I was thinking. My brain couldn't come up with the word. Thank you, Tony. It was Rolls Royce. Because Rolls Royce and Bentleys are like in my head the exact same car. They both have like a big grill thing on the front that looks the same to me. The only thing I don't like about one of them, I don't know if it's Rolls Royce or Bentley, is the rounded back of the car. Like the typical Rolls Royce, typical Bentley, I don't know which one either of those are, just like when you picture Rolls Royce or Bentley, one of them has a very rounded back end, and I don't like it. It's like the front of the car is so sharp and masculine, and then the end is like curvy, like a Jaguar. Like I don't like the shape of Jaguars. What are we naming? Oh, Tony, I have a stray cat currently living in my home. I captured her from out in the wild. Not actually. She'd been coming to my door for a little while, and pretty sure she's pregnant. So we think if she's having kittens, what should we name them? That's what we're naming. Dawn, love those names. Freya is actually already a Great Dane in my family. Freya. Freja. I always thought it was with a J, Freya, like Freija or something. I don't know why, but in my head it's with a J. Ooh, we could also do rock stars, you know? What's, we could have Gene Simmons. We could have characters from, ooh, hold on. We could have Beatles characters, like we could have Lucy and Prudence and Jude and Max and I don't know. Those are the ones I came up with immediately. Or we could do rock stars, like we could have Freddie and Elvis. No, we can't. Literally, those are already 2 animals in my family. My sister has a dog named Freddie, and my mom and dad had a dog named Elvis. Nancy, basil, thyme, mint, caraway, dill. Dill is also a cat in our family already. We have an awful lot of animals with an awful lot of cool names, I've got to tell you. What about town names? Town names? Okay, let's think. Okay, Tokyo. Alex would probably be down for that. What are your chickens' names? Rosie, I have 17 chickens at this time. Our rooster is named Baby. And then we've got Diane, Poppy, Clover, Daisy, Posy, Daisy, and Fern. That's 6. And then we have MJ, Sunflower, and Bluebell. And then we have Sweet Pea, Marigold, and Clementine. And then we have, so that's 3, 6, 9, 12. Then we have the colored egg layers. Sweet Pea, Violet, and Olive. So that's 15. Yeah, no, I'm missing one. Did I say sunflower? I might not have said sunflower. Do I have pets? Yes, I do indeed. I have a cat or 2 cats or 6 cats, depending on if the cat's pregnant. A cat, a dog, and 17 chickens. Moab, Paris, Tokyo, London. I do like the herbs, honestly. I think that's kind of cute. Basil, because basil's a cute name anyway. Thyme, mint, little mint. Nice, I have 12 colored layers and 4 reds. Oh, fun! We have 1 Rhode Island red, so that's a big red chicken. And then we have a red sex link, which is like the little red chicken that lays brown eggs for the supermarket. They're like the ones that they mass produce. Patrick, or Donka, I did have a lizard. He passed away, unfortunately. He was very small, and I found him in his water dish over the weekend, so I do not have, well, I still technically have a lizard. It is no longer alive. I wish I still had a lizard that was alive. I still have the food for the lizard that was alive. He was eating well, and then he just was dead in his water dish, so it could have been like a cold draft. It could have been like, I don't even know what it could have been. Valentino, Chanel. Oh, Alex would be down for that. Brand names. 1, 2. Yeah, it was a sad day over the weekend, but he was also very, very small. So I tried not to get too heartbroken about it, because it's kind of like I was prepared for him to not survive because he was such a small lizard. Like, it's so delicate that they can die from a lot of things. So anyway, yeah, it's a total bummer because I was really excited to just see him grow up, but yeah, he did not make it. Or you could give them totally generic human names. Or I could name them after members of my family. That would be funny. I found a wild lizard in my apartment once. Where are you from, Undead? After leaving the back door open. In Canada, that's not something that can happen. We don't have any lizards here. Not in my province, at least. I did look it up. There's a couple extra lizards. I thought all we had was 1 variety of skink, but we also do have a couple of varieties of skink. So we do have a couple lizards in Canada, but not really, not the way they do anywhere else. Yeah, not New Mexico level lizards. The lizard that I had was a green anole, and I found an egg. I bought a tropical plant at a local nursery, and I'm in Ontario, and it was fall, like it was already late fall. But there was an egg in it, and then I called the garden center, and those plants had been imported from Florida. So I incubated that egg, and a lizard hatched out of it. It wouldn't have survived in like Canada on its own. It was only going to be able to survive inside under heat lamps. He had everything he needed. He had food, and there's still flies in the terrarium. Like, even though he was dead, it's not like he didn't have access to food or anything. He had food, he had water. His water dish had easy escapes. Like, it's not like he couldn't get out of his water dish. There was rocks in it so that he could climb. My first dog, when was a puppy, was so small. My ex-husband said, it's not a dog or a puppy, it's a Snickers bar. But actually, I remember when my dog Cleo, when I was younger, she had puppies, and we weighed them all out, and the smallest one was under 70 grams. It was like 66 or 67 grams. And most of them were like 80 or 90 grams, and we had like 2 or 3 of them that were like 100 and 110 grams, but the smallest one was like 60 something anyway. I also want a pet, but my parents don't allow me. Well, gotta wait until you're out of the house then. That's a bummer though. I'm glad my parents were very open to me bringing animals into their house. When I was little, I would bring in, like, I would come home with a litter of kittens, and I would be like this happened more than once, where it's like, the mother got hit by a car, so I took them home. And my parents would be like, great, they all have fleas, and then I would have to take care of them, and then I would find them homes. Laura, what's your favorite story of comic book or anime? I don't think I have one that's a favorite. Is there anything you think I should read? I'm not super into anime or comic books. Not really. I never got into it. It's not that I'm not into it because I don't think it's cool or anything. It's just I never really got into it. If you have a recommendation, I'm open to it. My mom just gave me a book to start reading. She read her Christmas book, we gave her books at Christmas, and she already read a couple of them. So she said, you might like this one. I read it here. I was like, cool. It's like getting your gift back. Works for me. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I brought home litters of kittens. I remember one year, actually, we named kittens, and I found homes for them in our neighborhood. My best friend, when I was like a younger kid, was this this boy down the street, and they had a big backyard, and there were feral cats always living in their woodpile. And every year they would have kittens, and I would every year like force these feral kittens to love me, and then eventually they would leave because they weren't like spaying their female, and I was a little kid, I didn't understand. Anyway, so I would always rehome these kittens, or I would try to, the ones that I could catch, because feral cats, like feral kittens are really feral really quick. Like if you don't catch them before their eyes open, you're not going to be able to have really nice friendly little kittens. So all that's fine, but I would have scratches all over me, and I would go door to door with a box of kittens in my neighborhood, like yearly, and be like, we have 4 kittens, they're for sale for free. Snickers had 6. A Yorkie, the vet sent her home after 4, woke up the next day with 2 more. Snickers was as wise as long. Oh my god, a big huge round little puppy. Oh bye, have a good rest of your day. This was nice. I hope we can catch your next live. Well, I'll be here tomorrow morning, and maybe I'll come back in the afternoon for this, for another one. But tomorrow morning I'm going to be here at 8 a.m. I don't know what the book is called. I feel like it has the word moon in it. Moon something, and it has a picture of a wolf on the front cover. But my parents let me bring things like that home. I used to bring snakes and frogs and fish and toads. God, I brought home anything I could find. I brought home a goose egg once. Like, there was a big pond near where we lived. We lived on like a cul-de-sac, like an old neighborhood cul-de-sac. So it wasn't like a man-made pond. You know, a lot of the new developments, it's like they build a pond in the middle of the neighborhood, which is interesting. I think it's so that they don't get flooding in that neighborhood, because it'll just fill up that pond. Anyway, we had a pond at the end of our court, and we lived pretty much at the end of the court, and so I would spend a lot of my days, a lot of my afternoons in the school year, and a lot of my days in the summer alone at the pond in rubber boots or in running shoes, just not in the pond, but like in up to my knees, learning about the world. Like I would climb trees to find nests and just look at the baby birds in the nests for hours. Like for someone with like ADD who can't stop talking, I really found my peace, my safe place early in life. It's out in the forest near a pond, basically. So I would bring home whatever I found at the pond, if it was okay to bring home. Like I wasn't gonna bring home a nest full of baby birds, you know? But I went to the area where the geese laid their eggs, because there's like a migratory group of geese that lives at the pond, and they're Canada geese, and I was there so often that I wasn't afraid of them. Like nobody else ever that went to the pond would ever go near these geese, because like Canada geese are like, sorry Dawn, but demon spawn. They're literally like they have evil in their hearts. They're just sinister animals. But I didn't feel that way because I wasn't afraid of them. Surprised you didn't become a professional wildlife biologist, Laura. I mean, not professional, but I still get a lot of my joy out of that. I think it's probably for the best that I didn't though, Nancy, because that's where I like draw a lot of my joy from, is from being out in nature and like collecting things for fun. I think if it was part of my job, I think it could have taken away some of the magic, you know? Because for me, it's like a really like, it's like, I'm not a religious person, but if I had to like give you what my religion is, where I feel spiritual, it would be like out in the forest by a pond, you know? Fishing. I feel spiritual while fishing. But anyway, I went to the area where the geese lay their eggs each year, and they hiss at you, and the ducks are there too with their nests, and they hiss at you. Hi Laura, I can't concentrate anymore. We'll see the rest later. I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming, Wilma. It was nice to see you as well. Geese are aggressive and they bite. They bite and they can slap you with their wings. And yeah, swans are too. Swans actually have enough force to break a bone in the flapping of their wings. Like if you have a swan attack you, they could break a bone by hitting you with their shoulders. Fun fact. Anyway though, I wasn't scared of them. They come running at me and I would run back at them. Like it wasn't something that was in my fear repertoire just yet at that point in my life. And so I would go, and the moms would be sitting on their nests, and I would go close enough to the nest that the moms would stand up and hiss at me. But because I was there like literally every day, they didn't attack me. They just sort of like were unhappy that I was there. Obviously, they were busy, Laura, sitting on their eggs, leave them alone. But I would go, and then I would just look at the eggs. The mom would be standing next to me or in front of me, and I would be squatted down just looking at the eggs. And this was before, I don't know, this was before I was aware that, like, just leave nature, mostly leave it alone. I'm still not aware, let's be honest. But I would, like, twist the eggs around. I would look at them. If they were, like, already hatched, I would pick them up and I would look at not the babies, the eggs. I would just, like, look at the veins inside the egg. It was, like, a fun part of my life was enjoying watching the geese go through their life cycle. I would see the babies every year. I would bring them food. And it was kind of like they didn't want me there, but they tolerated me because I was coming every day, even if they didn't want me. So they weren't scared by the time this event that I'm about to tell you about happened. Sorry, my stories always get so off track. Thanks, Dad. It's a genetic thing that me and my dad both have. I've decided. We both just tell stories so roundabout. Anyway, one year, I was maybe 12, 13, probably 12 or 13, and I was down at the pond waiting for my friend, because we met down at the pond because she lived in a nearby neighborhood, so it was kind of like a middle point for us. And I went, while I was waiting for her, over to where the geese were, because what else am I gonna do? And the nests were all hatched. It's like they all did it over the course of like a weekend, and then you'd come back and they would all the babies are gone in the water with mom, and all of the eggs are just empty on the shore. And it was like that. There was just all the babies were hatched, and they were all in the water, and there was an egg in the water. And I thought it was an empty one, because like often after all the babies hatch, the moms will just clean out the nest and then they leave. They don't like come back to that nest after the babies are born. But there was an egg in the water, like a goose egg, but it was in like just at the edge of the pond, and it was like rolling because of the like little tide. Not like a tide, but you know what I mean? It was like moving in the water. And I was like, ooh, an egg in the water. That means I can have it, right? And then a neighborhood lady who lived in a way that she could see what I was doing from her backyard, and often we spoke to each other because she, oddly enough, was the previous owner of the house that I grew up in. So like we had it was kind of like she was like distant great aunt, you know? Like, I knew her name, I knew her face, and I would smile and wave, but I wouldn't want to go hug her. Like, she was like a neighborly energy. Anyway, I was holding the egg, just squatting by the edge of the pond, looking at it, and, you know, being a little kid. And then she said, "That one didn't hatch." And I was like, yeah, duh, it's a whole egg. But then she was like, "All of them hatched the day before yesterday, all of the other eggs. That one didn't hatch, and the mom kicked it out of the nest, and it's been there, like at the edge of the water, since the day before yesterday when she kicked it out of the nest when it didn't hatch by the end of the day." And I was like, "Cool." And she said, "So you can take it home, show your mom. She'll probably think it's cool." She knew that I was that person because I did that with other stuff. So I took it home, I had it in my pocket, and my friend was with me. My friend joined me at the pond after I had picked it up and put it in my pocket, and then we were walking home, and I was like, "It's cold, the egg is cold," because it was like sitting in the muck at the edge of a pond. But is it shaking? Like, is there something shaking inside the egg? That doesn't make sense. It's dead. I'm bringing it home to enjoy the egg. And then I went home with it, and it hatched. Like, when I got home, it was hatching. And it was like I guess the stimulation from being warmed up in my hand, the baby was like, "Oh, I guess I'll give it a shot." And then I had a goose. And it saw me first, obviously, because I knew what I was doing at that point. I saw Fly Away Home. So I was like, my friend and I were watching it hatch, and I was like, "You have to go home." "You have to go home. I have to be its mother. I have to be the one it sees." And she, I guess, knew who I was because she was like, "That's fine." So she went home, and this little goose hatched, and I paraded it around the neighborhood and went to the friend of mine that had the cats that was up the street. I showed my neighbors that had, like, they bred Great Danes. I showed them, and everybody, it's like my neighborhood when I grew up was kind of like that perfect neighborhood that you have in your mind where, like, you can yell from your front porch to your neighbors. Like, nobody had their doors locked, and I was like a 12-year-old kid who could go into the doors of all of the neighbors. Like, there were neighbors that whose kids were grown up and moved away. And I would go into their house, take my shoes off, go into their kitchen, and talk to their parrot. And they would come in and be like, "Oh, hi, didn't know you were here." Child from another family that lives on this street. Honestly, like, I had a pretty good childhood. Like, when I think about things like that, I'm like, I could just literally walk into my neighbor's house, walk through their house, go into the backyard, and eat their grapes. And they were, like, cool with it. Anyway, I loved that parrot, by the way. Anywho, I had a goose. Everybody in the neighborhood knew. Everybody thought it was hilarious because I would be walking around and a goose would be following me. A little baby gray fuzzy goose, so cute. And then she started getting ugly because geese get ugly as they turn into teenagers. So she started getting feathers, and her down started, like, not falling off, but like growing, being hidden by ugly new feathers. And her name was Zipporah, and for those of you biblical folks out there, Zipporah means little bird in Hebrew, and Zipporah is one of those Bible stories that you learn as a kid. And when I was 12, I had this book that was like, it wasn't a Bible, but it was a lot of Bible stories. It was an epic book, honestly, beautiful artwork in it, and the stories were written in a really nice way that I have them all up here, even though I'm no longer identifying as any religion. But I loved the name, and it was between, literally, these were the two names, Hagar or Zipporah. Those were the two names where I was like, which one should I pick? Luckily, Zipporah. Hagar? I don't know about that for a goose. Hello, cat, nice to see you. It's amazing. I think so too. I had a really good time with it. And I was still in school, like I was a kid in school because it wasn't summer yet. And so I had to come home at lunch every day, and my parents let me do this. Like, honestly, my parents, like, could see things about me, and they just let them happen. It's like, it was good for me, and they knew. I'm really glad they knew, because, wow. But they let me keep this goose, and I was 12, and we lived close to the school, like I could walk to school. And I used to walk with my siblings because there were 4 of us and we all went to school. And I would have to come home at lunch. I'd walk home for lunch and I'd have to feed the goose. So like in the morning she had to eat like some kind of cornmeal kitten milk mash, something like that. Like it was like a mix from the pet store for wild birds. And then we went, as she got a little bit, when she was very little, we had a rehab, bird rehab. They provided us food. My parents, I must have bought it, but I was 12. So like I did all of the care though. Like I like to think like I would have been able to do it on my own. Obviously my parents paid for things because I was 12. I wouldn't have been able to legally have a job yet. But like I also earned money when I was that young because I would do things like mow lawns for neighbors or for my family, my lawn, like that kind of stuff. So either way, whatever. My parents would have paid for the food at the beginning, the initial food, and then I had to teach her how to like eat grass, which I did. I mean, I don't know how, but I was like 12 years old and I had a lot of responsibility. I had to feed her. I didn't have to feed her at night. That's one thing that's nice about like migratory birds is the baby, or not even migratory birds, I guess just daytime birds. They sleep at night. You don't have to feed them multiple, like mammals, like the kittens. If one of them is rejected by the mom, I have to wake up every hour to feed the kitten because it'll starve to death if it doesn't eat every whatever hours. Birds aren't like that. So it's nice because you didn't have to worry about staying up all night with them. But I would get up in the morning and feed her. I would take her out for like exercise before school. And then I would go to school. She'd go inside. And then I would come home at lunch, feed her at lunch, go back to school, feed her when I came home from school. And like I had to sleep with my arm in a cardboard box because she slept on in a cardboard box beside my bed. And I had to have my arm in the box or she wouldn't sleep. She would just sit there and like scream. Even if she could see me, she needed to like physically be in contact. And I don't know why I didn't just pull her into bed with me. It was a cute little bird. Anyway, cutest thing. She grew up until she was almost full grown and she lived indoors as a goose. Again, I love Mom and Dad. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you for understanding what my soul needed to develop to its most comfortable potential, I guess. But and then one day, the following fall, I went to school and I came home and she was gone. And I was very upset, obviously. But it was a full-grown goose. And my dad brought the full-grown goose because when I would bring her down to the pond, I would bring her down to the pond where I collected her. Like, I tried to reintroduce her when she was a baby. Like when she was... she had down still, no feathers were coming. And I tried to reintroduce her to her family then, and obviously they were not having it. She was chased away. But I brought her several times throughout her like development to the pond, and she would like several times, all the time. I went to the pond all the time and I would just bring her because she was like she had to be with me. But she wouldn't leave me. She would swim, and sometimes she would even like interact with the other geese, but she wouldn't, like if I started to leave, I didn't have to call her. She would just follow me home because I was her mom. But my dad let her go into the pond and he wasn't her dad. You know what I mean? She was used to him, but it wasn't a family member, and she didn't follow him home. And we lived, like, you could see the pond from like an upstairs bedroom in my house. Like we weren't that far. But I never saw her again that year. She left with the birds in the winter. Like she left with them. And I believed that my dad had that something had happened and the bird was dead, and my dad like covered for it saying like I let her go because I never got to see her again after the disappearance the day that my dad released her. And it didn't come up again until the following spring, and the geese laid their eggs, the geese had their stuff. She looked the same as all the others. She's Canada goose. They all look the same. There's no distinguishing markings on them. They're all the same. But the following year, she did come back with the other geese, and she did have babies. And I know because I went to the pond after all of the babies had hatched, and I called her. Obviously, I couldn't tell. There's like 30 adult geese. They all look the same. But I called her, and she came, and she introduced me to all of her babies. And I was a grandma when I was 13. Oh, such a good vibe. And then I remember going home and being like, Dad, do you promise you didn't something didn't happen to the bird is not dead, you promise? And he's, what bird are you talking about? The goose, obviously. It wasn't obvious. I brought home a lot of things. But he said, no, I really did let her go, and she swam away with the other birds. And I was like, okay, I believe you now, because she totally knows who I am. And for like 2 years after that, I could call her and she would come. Yes, you could make noise and all the geese would come, like, I've got bread, everybody, come on, I've got bread. But I could go zip, zip, zippy, zip, zip. And she would come and say hello. And she got progressively more wild as the years went by. And eventually, when I called, no bird would come. But the first year after she was gone, I met her babies. So I know she survived, and I know she had babies, and she introduced me to them, and her babies, she brought them to the edge of the pond, and the babies are usually, they like hide behind mom. I was able to touch all of these baby geese, and the mom didn't she didn't say like back away from that human. You would never be able to touch a baby goose once it's hatched and with its mom. A mom goose would not let you near them, and the babies are very skittish, and I was able to touch all of her babies, and I was able to have my
fun time.
Yeah, have my fun time. So that's the story of Zipporah, my Canada Goose extravaganza. I would do that again in a heartbeat, except for don't do that, I'm pretty sure it's illegal. I'm literally crying, that's so cute. Yeah, honestly, if I get into my feelings, I can cry about it too. I'm an easy crier, and I also like some of those things, like, I loved that bird. She would hug you. Like, you could hug her and she'd like tuck her neck into, it was very cute. My parents, good people. I gotta tell you. Dawn loved that story. Me too. It's a good memory that I have. And it's nice because it's nice that I get to tell the story, because then it keeps it nice and sharp in my memory, you know? She was very pretty. And then she was so ugly, like a young bird that is not a baby bird, ugly. Newborn baby birds, usually ugly, but like waterfowl, they're cute pretty much right after they're born. But then as they start growing feathers in, they just look so scraggly. Not cute. I saw somebody asking about what to make. A cardigan, shopping bag, coasters. What else should you make? At this time of year, you should make a spring sweater, because that way you had the most stereotypically Ontario childhood ever. Good. I hope other kids had that childhood, because like I really got to experience a lot, like nature-wise anyway. My mom was a teacher and my dad worked at a steel factory, like Stelco. So I don't know, I always had access to a parent, you know, like I was at school, so my mom was at school. When I would be home, my mom would be home, because she was a teacher. And my dad was like, he worked at Stelco, so that was like a shift 12-hour thing. So if my mom wasn't home, then my dad was home. They like organized our life so that we always had a parent home, like until when we were older. I'm sure that we didn't always have a parent home, but when we were younger, I always did. And my parents were, like my dad would, if he was mowing the lawn and there was a toad that hopped out of the way, he would stop mowing the lawn and like whistle a specific whistle that meant, Laura, I'm mowing the lawn and I found an animal. And I would come over. And then he would let me play with the toad until I was not wanting to anymore. They really invested in my my love for animals. They really like let it happen. They just let it go as far as I wanted it to, which is bizarre. I mean, I hope that I'll be that way. I will, because I'll be like, oh, you found an egg! Like, I'll be wanting that to happen. So wholesome, yes. Very wholesome. Do love a good animal. Baby animals, I'm telling you, they're like so much fun and very cute. I wonder how far I've gotten on this. I think I've only done like 3 rows since I did that whole thing. So heartbreaking. Gosh. Oh, hey, by the way, if you came in after the last time I said it, don't forget to like the video, because please Did you grow up city or rural? Well, Rosie, I think I grew up in the literal perfect situation. Neither, both. I lived on an old street, so like there were established trees, and all of the houses were older houses, like probably the 70s and 80s, but a lot of them people had done like additions on. So there was a lot of like split houses. Anyway, big backyard that wasn't fenced for a long time, so it was just kind of like a large foresty sort of zone in our back area that connected to the next neighbors. But it was technically city. I could walk to a Tim Hortons, which sounds very Canadian. I could walk to Zellers, also Canadian. I could walk to most like necessary things for a young person to need to walk to. But if I walked in the exact opposite direction for the same amount of time, I would be at a field with horses. So rural was 10 minutes walking away, but city was 10 minutes walking the other way. So I was like right in this beautiful mid zone of perfect, wholesome childhood goodness. And all of the streets that were around there were pretty much all like either courts, like cul-de-sacs, or streets around a cul-de-sac. So it was like hyper safe. It was like we had like a really like a childhood that was not surrounded in fear. There was no cell phone, and I would just go, as at 11 years old, I would just go out to the pond, at most 1 kilometer away, at least, I don't know, a little bit away, and I would be fishing or doing whatever at like 11, and I would come home either when the sun was going down or when my dad whistled. My dad had a very specific loud whistle. It's like, I can't make the whistle, but he puts his fingers like this and he goes like, and it's very loud, it's very shrill, and nobody in our surrounding area made that noise. So it was always, you're too far from home, or it's time to get home, or I need you for something, I need you to check in. So I would have to walk home. And sometimes he would just be like, just making sure you were still near the pond. Yeah, where else am I gonna go? So many animals here. Why would I go anywhere else? Still live. Yep. These afternoon, evening lives are kind of fun, aren't they? Hortons, Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is a coffee shop, like Dunkin' Donuts. It used to be way better, and I would have said it's way better than Dunkin' Donuts, but then it got bought out by either an American or a Brazilian American, and the coffee has become subpar, and the donuts are no longer freshly made. It used to be like a Canadian thing. Like the first one is actually the first Tim Hortons ever is in the town next to me. Right on Ottawa Street, where I go for fabric shopping. Anyway, Melanie, my dad brought me some lawn frogs too. I was an only child and had to keep myself company, which totally fueled my creativity and love for living things. And in an opposite way, I was one of 4. I was the middle child, well, one of the middle children, I suppose. I was number 3 of 4. So my 2 sisters were much more girly than me. Like, not that we weren't, like, they would get dirty too, they would go camping too, but I was just a mud-covered child for most of my young life. Now too, though, let's be honest. Oh, hey there, Scrappy. Same here, the neighbors knew my mom's whistle and when we came home. Yeah, well, like, my dad's whistle, it's worked on adult Laura. Like, I've heard it in places where my dad shouldn't have been, like when I was out in Toronto, and not that he shouldn't have been there, I wasn't expecting him to be there because we lived over an hour away from Toronto, but I heard the whistle, turned, looked for him, and there he was. So, like, it's worked. It's as much as, like, people are like, don't whistle for your kids, or don't whistle for people because they're not dogs, or whatever. People have, like, vibes about it. It was a perfect way. I didn't want to hear a parent yelling. If it was a yelling, I knew there was something wrong. If it was just a whistle, it just meant, come home. What does the other sleeve look like on the other sleeve? What does the other sleeve looking like on the other sleeve? I haven't finished the other sleeve. I had to pull a lot of it out because I'm changing up the shape a little bit, so it's going to end up being a wider sleeve. It's going to have a little bit of puffiness to it, but it's going to be more of like a wide kind of batwing vibe, I almost want to say. Same here, the neighbors knew. Oh, I got that one. But yeah, I was one of 4, and I was the messy, naturey, like my sisters were scared of stuff. I wasn't scared of stuff, you know? Like I went fishing and I put my own worm on my hook and I took my fish off on my own. I would put the worms on for my sisters and I would take the fish off for them. But they liked fishing too. We used to go camping as a family and fishing was like the main activity. We would just be fishing off of the dock. We wouldn't be fishing like far. We'd be fishing right off the dock and just catching little sunfish. That was so fun. Once my little sister caught a sunfish that was about this big, and I'm second to the youngest. Yes, I'm second to the youngest. Third born. My sister caught a tiny little sunfish at the camp, and I had a fish on my hook, so I was getting the fish off of my hook, because you could catch like 1,000,000 fish there. We used to have competitions, and we would get like 300 in a week. We'd just be catching 1,000,000, because they're just little fish that eat hot dogs. But she had this fish on the hook, and she was just holding the rod, and the fish was in the water, but like just in the water, so it was just sitting at the top of the water, and I was taking a fish off of my own hook. And then I said, okay, I'm ready, and she pulled up hers, and a snapping turtle had bit it in half. Just bit off the bottom half of the fish. The snapping turtle's name was Big Mama, and she was a protected turtle at that park. People would always try to catch her. People who were new to that camp would try and hurt her because, I don't know, 12-year-old boys who are camping randomly get violent with animals. Like, I don't understand it. Don't worry. Those of us who had camped there before set them straight. So, Big Mama ate my little sister's fish. My mom had a specific one that meant get home, check in. Yeah. Who needs cell phones? You just have to learn how to do a really good whistle. I'm amazing at fishing, but I hate touching bait and fish, but I can catch them. Hey, that's the first important thing. You just need to have a good partner who will put those things on for you. And I was that person. Have a good rest of your day, Danka. Thanks for coming. Let me just unhide. Oh, good. Somebody else got it. This is fun. I like this little memory lane day we're doing. Just animal memories. I feel like my sharpest memories are either me making something or animal memories. Can't be surprised about that. I remember one year when I was at that campsite, it was when I had started getting into sewing, so I had scrap fabric, and I would hold the scrap fabric like on my leg, and I brought acrylic paint with me that year camping. We would camp for like a week, and we camped in tents. Like, I don't know whatever. But I would paint the sunset every night we were there on fabric. And I had like embroidery hoops, and they were my grandma's. It must have been near after when my grandma had passed away, because I got a lot of her craft stuff within that context. Like, my grandpa doesn't craft. But I didn't know what to do with an embroidery hoop because I was a kid. I didn't know what embroidery was yet. But I found an embroidery hoop, and I understood how it worked with fabric, like how to use it to keep fabric taut. So I just kept using it as like my easel. I would use it as my canvas to stretch out my fabric, and then I would paint sunsets. And then I would move it to a different spot the following night and paint the sunset. I just feel like my parents must have seen a lot of things in me and been like, what is this alien child? Always covered in mud and paint. I hope I have an alien child who's always covered in mud and paint. I won't understand a neurotypical child. I wouldn't know what to do if a kid was like, no, that's all right. I'd rather just stay here and play my video games. What do I... No, please, I want to go shopping. I mean, fishing. That would be the worst if they were a kid who's like, I want to go shopping. Can we go shopping? No, we can't. I'm sorry. Mommy's really busy. All All right, let's see how, I think we're almost back to where we were when I had to pull out a whole bunch of rows. We're getting somewhere. That was heartbreaking though. Does anyone have any, like, I don't know, topics or questions you want to ask? I can answer questions. I don't know what you would want to ask about, but we could do crochet help. Not only by me, there's lots of crocheters in this group. Oh, thanks, Dina. I hope it'll be a really pretty sweater in the end. I think it will. I feel like I really like the texture of the fabric. It's coming out really, like, cuddly cozy. I think it'll be a really nice soft pullover. I have to call my little sister tonight. I want to see what she's up to, how school is going. Are they online? Because there's a lockdown again. So she must be teaching online. But haven't talked to her since, like, the weekend. The yarn is gorgeous. I know, and look at how it, like, look! Look at this thing. Isn't it pretty? I'll probably do it with, like, a black t-shirt underneath. I think. There. Hold on. Like, that looks cool. That'll be a cool long sleeve shirt. With that as, like, this is how the neckline will look. So if I was wearing a jacket, it would look like that. That will be the neckline. I agree, it's awesome. Thank you for also thinking it's awesome. Is it going to be a cardigan? I don't think so. I think I'm going to just do a pullover like this. This is the vibe. So I'm making the sleeves, the widening part of the sleeves right now. I don't think it'll be a cardigan. Although this is just one body piece, so I could do a cardigan, but I don't know how I would do a half hexagon, because the front, oh, I guess it doesn't have to be a half hexagon. Just the back could be a hexagon. No, it'll probably just be a jumper. I mean, yeah, probably. Sort of reminds me of tie-dye. Yeah, same, Rosie. When I see it, it's kind of like tie-dye, crochet, boho sort of vibes. I like it. I really like the color. I'm glad I'm doing a pullover for myself. Like, I'm glad I didn't start some project that I was planning on giving to somebody else, because I'm really happy with how the yarn looks. We should always use what we have in new ways. They saw the artist and the animal lover. Well, my mom was a teacher. I guess she's still technically a teacher. But my mom was a teacher, so I'm sure that she was, it was part of her, like, foster the development and growth of humans, that, like, energy that teachers have. Like, she's like a vocational teacher. Like, she was meant to be, that's what she was meant to do. And she's got, like, her master's in education and stuff. Like, my mom's, like, a teacher in her soul. So she probably just saw me for a minute as a student and was like, we should just let her little ADD brain do what it wants to do, because it's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna work out okay. I'm telling you, this old yarn is a pain to work with. It'll make a great blanket for a rescue animal after I wash and dry it with Downy. Oh, is it all like, I don't know what the texture is of those Red Heart yarns, but my old Red Heart, it kind of feels like somewhere between scratchy and oily. Does that make sense? Does that sound crazy? I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how Red Heart yarns, like, specifically old Red Heart, after using it, my hands feel, like, weird. Itchy plastic. Yeah, it's like a, yeah. I mean, plastic is oil, isn't it? Or is styrofoam oil? Something is oil that I didn't know was oil. I think this week, Scrappy says, I'm going to go through and see what WIPs I have and either finish them or frog them. Ooh, that's a big endeavor. At least it's a big endeavor if you are like me and there are so many WIPs that aren't done. I like that idea. You know what I think I might do? Because I'm working on new projects right now, maybe I'll do something like finish it February. No new projects in February. All my videos in February will only be me finishing WIPs. Get it finished February. Something like that. Fentex. What's that? Yo, yo, yo! I love that you put the hands up because I recognize it as the human thing. It makes me laugh. Always a teacher. She saw the artist in you by the nurture. Aw. Yo, Jenna. Settle down, Jenna. Get your tea. Come on, sit down. Okay, Scrappy, settle down. Rosie, I have too many WIPS, honestly. Yes, same. The plasticky yarn they used to wrap around hangers in the 70s. Yeah. Ugh. Honestly, just hangers at stores. Ugh. They smell like metal, like dog spit. Whenever anybody's like, what does dog spit smell like? Has anyone ever said that to you? Because I've definitely explained the smell of dog spit to people. It smells like when you go shopping at a department store and you try on a lot of things, how your hands smell after touching a bunch of hangers. Bless you, darling. Bless you. Yeah, that's what dog spit smells like. Michelina, that's a pretty name. Hello, Michelina. If it's really old, then it might have started decomposing, secreting oil like old plastic Tupperware. Ooh, yikes. Ew, I never really thought of that. No, plastic doesn't decompose that fast. All of these red heart things that we're making with the old yarn that everybody has at least a few old balls of yarn. They'll be around long after your great grand family members are dead. The yarn will still be here. Honestly, that is something that makes me feel kind of nice about wool. At least it'll decompose at the same rate that I will. So, like, if you die wearing an acrylic sweater, they're gonna dig up the thing in 1,000 years because there is no respect for the dead after a certain period of time. They'll dig you up, and then they'll just see your sweater there. Whereas for me, I'll be able to disappear completely. I'll just wear jeans and a wool sweater. Well, I'll probably just get burned. No, I won't. That's still a lot of energy. I'll just get buried in the woods somewhere in like a canvas thing. Anyway, wire hanger smells like dog spit. It's a fact. It's a fact that you can keep in your back pocket in case somebody can't identify smells well. My hubby is 52 and his grandma made him some blankets in high school with old yarn and it's softish because of how many times it's been washed. Yeah, well, yeah. Although, you know, what I read on Twitter, which means it must be true, apparently scientists in insert country found microplastics in amniotic fluid. So pregnant mom, microplastics free floating in her amniotic fluid, which means now we're at the point where we are going to be partially, at least sort of in some weird way, made of plastic. So just put that. Finish Feb is a good idea, yeah? Well, good. Then let's do it. This is coming along. They found it in a few. I was just discussing that. Yeah, I don't know that that's great. Not that you were discussing it. The fact that it's happening, I mean, gives me a bit of the heebie-jeebies. Like, are people going to end up getting a ton more cancers because of it? Or are they going to have bones that heal by just having a heat gun applied to them? Like, are we going to have... Oh, it could have been from makeup? Oh, I just assumed it was like mushing its way into us from all of the garbage that gets put out into the world. Oh, plastic. Why? The list of things it could have come from was just, oh, sheesh. Oh, fair, right? I guess it could have gotten in. I just assumed, I don't know, that it didn't get in through a normal way. She didn't eat it. That's like how, you know what I mean? That's how my brain looked at it. It wasn't like the mother ate plastic and therefore there's plastic in the amniotic fluid. It's like the plastic, like, metabolized from in her body into the, I don't know if that's how it happened. It's just like what my brain decided. It was like the future. Just fix bones with a heat gun, you know? It works. Not like that. Acrylic yarn is not going to decompose. That's why I want to work with bamboo and cotton. Wool is itchy. I love wool. There was blue microplastic. Oh, they had color. Oh, that's super. You were born in a sea of plastic, and you were born into a place with seas of plastic. Welcome to the world, little one. You are probably mildly toxic / allergic to stuff. What if they were like allergic to plastic? You couldn't be allergic to plastic, could you? You could be allergic to wool, but that's an animal thing. The garbage plastic is in the fish and it causes cancer. Does it? I don't want to be spreading misinformation. I don't have a confirmation of that. Wouldn't surprise me. But also, fish are like weird anyway because they like accumulate mercury, and like if you're pregnant, you're not supposed to eat raw fish, which is sad because I love raw fish. Not that I'm pregnant, but if I wanted to get pregnant, the idea that I would have to give up fish would be sad for me. What if they don't like blue? Yeah. It was a gender reveal party, Scrappy. It wasn't microplastics in the amniotic fluid. It was a gender reveal party circa 2020. Therefore, blue microplastics in the amniotic fluid. It was all part of an elaborate gender reveal. At least they didn't light part of the world on fire. So that's good. Come on, that was a pretty good joke, right? I think it was pretty good. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna try and hold that in my brain and say that to my sister later. Like the ones that cause fires. Yeah, exactly. There was no explosion, at least. The baby could decorate. Ugh. Imagine if like, imagine the ways plastic could impact a growing, like, fetus. Like, what if they're like, I don't know, some part of them has plastic as the building block. Yeah, my state. Yeah, the whole state. Just on fire. How's the fires in California now? Are they gone? Is it done? Is it the rainy season there now? Because it's not boiling hot anymore, right? I'm pretty excited about this sweater, I'm not gonna lie. I'm also pretty excited to start my next sweater already. Allergic to animals, wool, Angora, and others. Ooh, that's something I want to make. I have a skein of Angora wool from Frida, the lovely Frida. She hasn't been here on these streams because she's in Sweden, and she comes to the morning streams because it's time changed and whatnot. But Frida sent me this like two beautiful skeins of wool. One that she spun, she carded, spun, dyed, or carded, dyed, spun. Anyway, she sent me yarn that she made, and she also sent me Angora wool from her bunny rabbit. I believe it was just 2 weeks ago. They are 100% contained. Does contained mean there is no more fire? When you say 100% contained, wouldn't that be like there isn't a fire? Or is 100% contained just mean like they have all the borders around the fire? What does that mean? Like when they say 80% contained, I assume that means they have put out 20% of the fire. So if they say 100% contained, why wouldn't they just say it's no longer on fire? Contained doesn't tell me that the fire is not burning at all. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they're all out. Doesn't Angora come from bunnies? Indeed it does, Rosie. There is a variety of bunny called Angora rabbits. They are specifically for the purpose, like they've been bred to be that way. And some people pull the hair out, not in an abusive way, in like the bunny sheds, and they pull the shed out in a way so that it works to be made into like yarn. And others shave their bunnies. Frida does, I believe she does a shave either every year or every 6 months. I don't remember what she said. It might just be once a year in the summer, you know? Anyway, she has white bunnies. One of them's name is Ivor. That's whose wool I have. And Angora yarn, it's very, very heat retentive. Is that the right wording? It's very warm, like way warmer than wool. Like the way that the hair is organized, or the science of the hair is such that maybe the hairs are hollow. Is that why? Like a polar bear? I don't remember why. I just know that Angora is one of those things you wouldn't make like a sweater like this out of Angora because you would die. It would just be way too hot. Angora is like often lacy shawls and like light things because it's so warm. There's your fun fact of the day. And it's also hella soft, like hella soft, like way softer than the softest wool you've ever felt. Like the tummy of a bunny. It's as soft as the tummy of a bunny, basically. Maybe make a nice cowl for your cold winters. Yeah, you know what I've been thinking though? Since I've been thinking about it, I want to be able to use it like more than just in the winter. Like I'd love to have a 3-season item, and a cowl for me is only going to be in the winter. What I'm thinking is I was thinking of doing another triangle shawl, because then it'll be a scarf in the winter and it could be kind of a shawl in the spring and fall. What do you think of that? Interesting. I'm once again learning things on this stream. See? You just have to keep talking. Eventually new information is going to come out. Sometimes it's inappropriate or weird or interesting or informative. You never know what you're going to get here. Sometimes it's completely useless to your development as a person to come to the Last Minute Laura show. Sometimes you learn a little something. It's a good selling feature. You might learn something. You might not, but you might. I tried crocheting with pure Angora yarn and found it broke very easily. Did you end up doing something like 1 strand of wool, 1 strand of Angora to fix for that, or did you just continue with the 1 strand of Angora? Good to know though, thank you for that. So I will double it up with something else that's fine but a wool, like a fine wool. Oh yes, you could go lacy, but since it holds heat, you can still use it to keep warm. Yeah, then I think that's a nice idea. I like the idea of using some lacy stitches since, ooh, it's white. And I'm getting married. Ooh, I'll make myself a little wedding shawl. Cute. Such a soft sweater. Let's see what Dawn said. I wanted an Angora sweater in the 80s so bad. In the 90s, my sister bought me one. Got a trip to the hospital. Oh no, anaphylactic shock, very warm sweater. Okay, that's not good. My sister was in Alaska, so it could be made for very cold. Jeez Louise. Sorry that you were allergic to it. That's scary. Very scary. But I'm also glad that you made it to a hospital and that you are safe. I combined it with a strand of wool. Cool. So that's probably the way I'll have to go so that I don't rip it and go crazy. All right, now I have to measure. I'll just do this again. See, this is what I call pandemic fashion. It's called like a work shirt. Like this is like a crepey fancy material. A pair of Alex's sweatpants and a crocheted cardigan. It's called pandemic chic. I just need the space on the floor to see if I've made this long enough yet. I need to block this. Maybe I'll do that tonight so I can know the accurate size of it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll block this evening. That way it can be done for tomorrow. Okay. Can you guys see this? Yes, okay, sort of anyway. Okay, so just pretend it looks right. This has to be half. Hey there. How you doing? Hi. Okay. Comme ça. So basically, this sleeve needs to end up like, okay. Basically, I still have this much increasing to go to end up here, but then I also need to decrease to have it fit into the hexagon. So I'll increase, sorry, I'm just trying to make this hexagon sit a little bit like more how I'm imagining it'll sit as a sweater. So the sleeves will attach here and here, but the sleeve will need to have, I'm going to attach it straight so that this line continues straight. So you can see this triangle here. What I'm going to have to do, once the sleeve is at the length I want, which is probably about there, I think I'm actually pretty much done with my increases now. I'll do a couple more rows of increase, maybe 2 more rows, and then I'll come straight. And once I hit this armpit zone with a straight line, then I'm going to have to start doing a decrease on my sleeve in order to have the sleeve fit. So what that's going to look like on the actual sleeve like this, it means I'm going to have to make it a diamond shape so that when it folds over and sits like this, the top is like on an angle so that it's like shaped like that, so that when I sew it in, it actually fits in like a sleeve. Does that make sense? That's the plan anyway. Lol, plan. There is no plan. The plan does not exist. It's gonna be so gorgeous when it's done. I think so too. It's gonna be comfy, that's for sure. I can tell you that right now. Good. Anywho, hold on a sec. Hold on a tick. Like Austin Powers. There we go. What are you working on, Jenna? Anything new? Dawn, I wear men's type of PJs, microfiber, flannel, silky, and that's been my wardrobe. I love PJs as much as I love socks. I have 17 sets, oh my goodness. I mostly just wear underwear and a t-shirt to bed, but more power to you. I've purchased pajamas before being like, I want to be a person that wears like a pajama set with like buttons, you know? Like a top and bottom cute little pajama set. I just can't do it. I get too hot in the night. I always end up, if I'm wearing pants, they're not gonna stay on. I can't wear socks in bed. It's like a t-shirt and undies. That's the ideal. Sorry. Sorry, Laura's ideas of beautiful aesthetic. I just want to be able to wear like a silk nightie, but if I'm wearing something that is a dress to bed, essentially, which a nightie is to me, I'll die. I'll strangle myself by rolling around until it is tight, especially silky things. Ugh. PJ pandemic wear, pretty much. Well, it's either sweatpants, leggings, yoga pants, or jeans. That's, I'm not dressing up right now. Yeah. I'd love to say it's just because of the pandemic, but really it's because I don't need to. Can I ask what the biggest project you've worked on would be? I always feel like big projects can be a pain, but the payoff is awesome. I think the present for me that had the most the project that had the most payoff, probably the sweater I made for my mom the winter before last winter, I believe is when I made it. Maybe I made it for her last Christmas. But the sweater I made for my mom, it was like a really tightly crocheted, I think I used like a 4mm hook, and I used half double crochets with a number 4 or 5 weight wool. And it was very, like, I worked really hard on it. I filmed a really nice video, like in parts. I feel really proud of the video I made to go with it. And then I embroidered an iris on it, which honestly set me up for success if I name my daughter Iris, because it'll look like I always was gonna do that. But really my mom just, I want to say she breeds irises, but she like grows and crosses them. Like she does a lot of work with irises. But yeah, I did a hand embroidery in wool on the sweater of an iris, and the sweater came out really beautiful, and it fits so well, and it feels like an expensive store bespoke one. It's a very nice sweater, and I think that's probably my proudest one. Either that or my first sweater that I made for Alex. I was in a business class. I had gotten a grant to start one of my businesses, and I have a really hard time sitting down for a long time in a class. And I brought wool, and I made Alex a sweater during the business class. It was like 6 weeks long or something, and it took me almost that whole time to make the sweater because I was new to it. But he still wears it. It's the gray one. First one I ever made. Oh my god, you're still live. I know. It's a long time. I'm here all day, people. You should do one for yourself, but with a chicken on it. I agree with you on that. I think that's a really good idea. Honestly though, I think if I do, I would want to do it in the Briggs & Little wool, because the way that wool works, it's like an outside garment sweater. It's not like against your skin. It would be like you'd be wearing a shirt, and it would be like a sweater you'd wear if you were going to be like working outside or something. It's like rough wool, but it has a really nice texture to it. And once it's been washed, it softens. I think that would be a fun project, a chicken sweater. I like that idea. Especially that one chicken with the really pretty feathers. All all of my chickens have really pretty feathers. I don't know who you're talking about specifically, probably MJ, the stripy one, but all of my chickens are beautiful. Black, white, and gray. Yeah, the barred rock. Yeah, they're pretty. Did I miss anything here? Every time I wear socks to bed, I wake up without them. I take them off while I'm asleep and they always end up at the foot of the bed. I've had that before where I've gone to make the bed and Alex must have made the bed for the previous couple of days because there's 6 socks just at the foot of the bed under the blanket. Yep, I live that life. Alex can sleep in full clothing. Like socks, underwear, undershirt, shirt, pants, sweatpants. But I mean still. A hat, he can sleep with a hat on, like a toque. They look black, white. Oh, I already read that. Good, I'm up to date. I agree though with the chicken idea. I think I should make a chicken sweater. It's a good plan. Hey there, Noemi. I always catch the lives on replay. My daughter's socks are under her pillow under her pillow? How did that happen? I guess she pulls them off and then just brings her hand back up to her face and puts her hand under the pillow. That's funny. Socks are not meant to be slept with. Or at least not for me. My feet get so like, it's always an emergency too. Is that anybody? Like when I'm taking my socks off in bed, when I've gotten into bed with socks on and I have forgotten to take them off, it's like an emergency. Like they need to come off right now. It's like if you've ever been underneath a blanket on your bed and like Alex will like climb over me on the covers, and for that moment where I am underneath covers and Alex is on top of the covers, I'm like panicked. I'm like I can't move, I'm gonna die. Even if he's like getting over me to get off the bed, even though he could just get off on his side, we have a room, whatever. But my point is the panic of not being able to move is the same panic of getting your socks off before you go to bed, which sounds like some type of innuendo, getting your socks off, but it's not. Literally. I love to wear PJs, but I cannot wear socks without them slipping off and being forgotten, left behind. Then I'll find a pile of socks a month later. Yep. It's when you run out of socks to wear, that's when you really find all the weird places that your socks end up. When you're like, okay, I don't really want to wear these socks. I want to wear my comfy ones. So I'm gonna do a load of laundry and wash all of the socks and underwear now. And then you go for a little hunt to look for your socks and underwear. And why are they always in the weirdest places? Anybody ever put their jeans on, get all the way out of the house, and then find out there's a sock like at the calf on the inside of their jeans? Been there. That was called university. Where it just said that it failed. It said successfully reconnected. Can you guys see me still and hear me? Sorry if there was a glitch there. My streaming software struggled for a second there. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I had a glitch. Okay, well, I'm back from outer space. Literally, because this image is being brought to you via satellite. So I am back from outer space. There we go. What do you think? Looks pretty cool, I think. Just look at these colors. Doesn't that just make you feel all kinds of ways? Makes me feel all kinds of ways. Hey friends, I think I'm gonna call it. I think I'm gonna go, honestly, I think I'm gonna go sit with the foster cat and just pet her tummy and stare at it and see if I can see any kittens moving in there. I'll keep you updated. I am gonna be here tomorrow morning, not the same time, although I might come back in the afternoon tomorrow to do this again, like this long type stream. I like this long form stream, it's kind of fun. Give her lots of love. Candace, I will. And Candace, if you wanna talk, just message me. And sending you love and good, strong love vibes. Sending all of you some good, strong love vibes, because we need it, for sure. By the by, See you tomorrow. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. 8 a.m. Eastern time. That's when I'm gonna be back. First thing in the morning. Not really first thing, like third thing in the morning. I'm gonna be 8 o'clock Eastern until around 10. And then if you guys want, I can come back again in the afternoon from like 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And we can do that because that's fun. And I'm still working on this sweater and I'll just sort of film in between that. So I will see you tomorrow. I love you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. And I hope you have a good rest of your evening. If you have to go out for anything, don't forget to wash your hands when you get home because we're in the middle of a global pandemic and you have to do it to keep yourself safe. Okay, did I get everything down? I think so. 8 a.m. tomorrow. See you there. Don't forget to like the video on your way out too. If you could hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it.